explosive combination yet. But unfortunately, XXS is going to be going quick wit, which is cool. We're going to see the attack speed deal. But I was hoping he was going to go the movement speed one, where he gets movement speed based off of his allies within an AoE. And then the Primal Beast would go the movement speed one that buffs up other people's movement speed. And then the Tiny has Insurmountable, which prevents him from being slowed. Gives him slow resistance, status resistance. I thought it was just going to be, they were just going to be zooming all over the map.
Would have broken the game. Too powerful. XG realized it. And they're going to play a normal game of post-patch Dota here.
That's boring.
Their lineup looks kind of scary, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, you go late game against this tiny Darkseer. This guy's going to be insurmountable. He's going to have insane stats, insane defensive capabilities. The craggy code if you're trying to hit him. Then all of a sudden he's surged and shelled. That just sounds terrifying. It does look like a tough Naga game on paper in terms of the straight-up matchups. The one thing I think Naga has going for in this patch, though, that we saw from that Falcons game earlier is this new song is insane in the team fights. Like, the amount of HP and mana you get back from it is just absurd. And I think that's maybe the most underrated aspect of the hero right now. Just makes her way better in the team fights by default. And that spell can be huge in a game like this where you have a lot of spell damage to throw out. If you reset the fight, everybody heals back up. Allows you to take that second half.
Yeah.
A lot better capacity.
Combine it with some tanky cores, which are all the meta right now.
And I still think this full bore has got to be busted in some capacity on the snap. Like, just allowing you to shoot these at such a far range, follow up on things like the axe jump here or a pudge hook dismember instantly, and deal the bonus damage, just seems damn good.
Yeah, there is this weird dichotomy of Snapfire's like kit where you want to be far away with kisses, but you want to be close up with Cookie and the blast. That, you know, now this facet makes it so, you know, you can be a little bit more long range focused than before.
Let's talk about Darkseer, though. This, I think, is a hero that is going to become very interesting over the next couple months in Dota because he does some insane stuff just based off the passives. It's kind of hard to see when you read it, but when you see it in action, it's absurd. So he's gaining int for any of the stats that go above his int in effect, which means, okay, XXS starts this game, he buys Branch, Circlet, Triple Gauntlet here. He has plus 12 bonus strength, which also gives him effectively plus 12 int. This guy is coming to lane with 900 HP and 500 mana pool. That is massive for the hero. It's just a ridiculous stat line. Look at his base damage, look at his armor, and then look at his starting HP and mana. Like, it's just absurd value out of stat items. No other hero can do this. It's like you're getting... It's like every strength item you buy in your starting build, you get a free int item of equal value.
Yeah.
You're basically starting with double gold.
And he's going to get, like, bracers, potentially, which are giving you damage on top of that. He's a universal hero, so anything that is messing around with stats on a universal hero has got to be broken.
It's just insane. And then he's getting attack speed off of this int as well.
Yep.
So the int he's getting for free, he's getting it doubled from the other things. He's getting damage off it because he's universal, and he's getting attack speed from it. And he's getting attack speed from the Agi as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, do you just buy Scotty on this hero and he becomes God?
Yeah, every point of strength that he gets right now is giving him HP. It's giving him damage because he's universal. It's giving him mana and mana regen. It's giving him attack speed because the strength is buffing up his intelligence, which is in turn buffing up his attack speed. How can this...
And magic resist.
All off of one stat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something about this hero does not make any logical sense. He is beyond the comprehension of us non-cone-headed men. He's already doing some work here.
Round skulls. Well, Shinkyu's not doing any work.
Yeah, he's struggling on this lane, but XXS is CSing like a beast up here. I'm excited to see where this hero goes over the next month or two, because I think if you just look at this on paper, like, it just doesn't... It makes no sense to me how it's not over-tuned.
Yeah. So do you think he's just going to get, like, only strength items, basically? Because they're going to buff up his intelligence, which in turn buffs up his attack speed?
There has to be some build in that way that's broken. I don't know what exactly that looks like, because you still want to buy auras here, I think. Like, you're still looking at Greaves or you know, potentially Blink, Ags, whatever you want to go, but damn, there is probably some Darkseer, carry Darkseer build out there somewhere.
Yeah, heart satanic.
Yeah, Scotty, Echo Saver, I don't know. Spooky times we're in. And Bach gonna get some damage in. I'm also interested to see how Pudge works out in this patch, because I feel like the times we've seen him, he's looked pretty strong. You still have this Eternal Shroud you can build up. You still are scaling very well in the game. I don't think his facets are insanely broken, but that almost makes me think the hero might be stronger than we're giving him credit for. A little vac action, but unable to commit and find the kill on low. So far, it's XG pulling ahead a little bit in this laning phase. Finding a bit more farm in the off lane, and the Zeus is absolutely free farming mid here for XM. So XG probably fairly happy with that outcome. Oh, big courier snipe. That is a lot of gold on that for low.
Yeah.
That's a big pickup. Full treads missing for the Naga now.
Well, they might have gotten that first blood, but they are not comfortable with the lane, that's for sure. Xin-Q just keeping both the heroes back while XXS is able to free farm. And it looks like free farm is also happening in the mid lane. Though Pudge is going to make a very early rotation
because they're shoving this in. They have double wave plus catapult. This would have been a dive for XG if Ori didn't make this rotation. Very heads-up move by him, honestly, to read the lane situation. They were even bringing the Phoenix in. XG were setting this dive up tremendously well, but Ori just counterplays it beautifully here. Shuts down all that aggression, guarantees low can get all these creeps, doesn't die under the tower. Big momentum shift for what would have been probably a good sequence here for XG. Instead, they just lose another hero, flesh heap into the Pudge. Now, they can just come back up here and make the same play. They still have a wave with the catapult. They still have 3-on-2 as Ori goes back mid. And they are going to force low off the tower.
So the same movement still comes, the same pressure, the same attempt at being able to get a kill, but they're going to lose their siege wagon and not get the kill. So Ori just kind of disrupts that momentum. It does leave the mid lane to just totally free farm. XM is getting very big on the Zeus very quickly. And this is another hero that I think maybe has some interesting potential. We're going to see the Divine Rampage, which is what everybody's going right now. The other facet seems to be some sort of right-click Zeus build, where you do more damage with your spells the closer they are. This one just seems a lot simpler.
It's also cool.
I mean, you're just waiting for that Reddit clip, right? Of like the Rampage, where the final hero takes 60% amplified damage.
I'll get one there. Get some extra damage out on the map. I mean, this hero does a lot of damage in the early game. He's a beast. I still have questions about his scalability. One of the issues we saw with last patch, like these late games, the Zeus just felt like it was too hard for him to play those later fights into all the magic resistance that gets built up now.
I mean, isn't his scaling better because now his passive, the 4%, is applied to every ability, including Lightning Hands. I'm not sure why they did that, or the Lightning Hand illusion hits.
I mean, it's just on his attack as well.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing in these laning phases and these early trades, every attack is just dealing a lot of extra damage. It helps his early game a lot, it helps his scalability a lot. And there's a hook, and you're gone.
Nice snag.
Ori starts feasting on the flesh here. He's the most farmed hero in the game, and he's just rushing that Eternal Shroud. This has got to be a good matchup for the Pudge versus all the magic damage that XG have proposed here. Kind of a trade-off strategically for Azure Ray. Yeah, maybe you have all this AoE clear and magic damage that's going to make it hard for Naga to enter the fight. But what about a Pudge and an Axe who can potentially get Eternal Shrouds and all this extra strength? What are you going to do about them?
Okay, but Darkseer's going to be a right-clicker, so, you know.
That's true. Once the Scotty comes out for XXS here, the game might just implode.
He's going to go MKB Basher with 1 billion attack speed.
I mean, I'm not kidding. It might just be the build. I don't know what Scotty does for this hero, but it's got to do something insane.
Yeah.
Xin-Q not had the smoothest of early games here. I think Primal support is. It's one of those things that like kind of works better in pubs than officials. You really need some cheeky kill momentum, and if you don't get it, The hero has a pretty underwhelming mana pool that gets helped up by being mid with the extra levels and water runes that you don't get as a support. Darkseer's definitely going to help enable him here, but he's still searching for something in this game. And it's going to be
smoking across, running into Tianming. Ori's sitting on the side here, lading up the hook and gets him. Now FY's going to follow up with the cookie, trying to chain this stun. XM is pretty tanky though with a phylactery, and his team is coming to the rescue, and now Ori is stuck in a 1 versus 4 because FY can do nothing to help him. 1 versus 5. Boy, Xtreme just brought every hero to this top lane.
Might get another meat shield off.
Another meat shield will help him live just a little bit longer, but
5-man move here from XG. Tired of getting rebuked in this top lane. They got the Naga as well.
I mean, I guess the one person I question is, what is Ame doing up there? That's one hell of a move.
What do you mean? He's getting kills and he's hitting towers? I mean, he has Shell and Surge to play with, so he can be involved super early in these fights.
Yep.
Hero does a lot of damage. He's already hitting for 180, has 2,000 HP, 10 armor.
Dire's middle tower.
This is an amazing carry to take early fights with. Offers you a lot.
Radiant's top tower.
Azure Ray are really going to have to watch these types of fights they get sucked into, because it's not the strength of their lineup right now. They want these cheeky little pickoffs with a Pudge, you know, a glimpse, setting up some solo hero in the jungle, maybe 2-on-2, 2-on-3. These full 5-on-5s, they need the team fight items to come out from the Axe and the Pudge to be able to take them later on. Otherwise, Zeus is just kiting you out, and you don't have the damage like we saw there. You can land the hook, you can land the dismember. XM just walks it off, man. The man don't care. Oh, he got Fairy Trinket too. That's a
big pickup.
Yeah, it's a Zeus player's dream right there.
You might have a bit of a damage problem for Azure Ray.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Like, how are they gonna, when the Axe jumps, it's pretty much the ultimates of the supports, but then after that, like, where does the lasting damage come from until the Naga's online?
That's why you have to land hooks this game. You have to isolate heroes so you can focus them down with everybody.
Static Storm, Kinetic Field, surprise with the kisses on top of that one. That is a lot to be thrown down, and they even get the hook to be able to stop the Sunray heal going out. Supernova is going to go down with the charge from JQ. It's just beautiful. Thunder God's Wrath still, though. They have the Snapfire. That's a hard counter to the Phoenix. They can still get some extra kills off of it, though, as they know they're not strong enough to fight back against XM. XM low on mana now, but does he have enough with just right-clicks to deal with Ori?
The catapult.
The creep. No, that's not what he wanted at all. He gets stopped by the lightning bolt. Still, though, he is moving. Can he get out XM? He's just out of mana, working off Magic Wand charges after Magic Wand charges.
Oh, I mean, imagine he gets the Dismember on the Zeus there.
Nice find.
Big pickup. So XM, happy with that fight, but so is Ori here, both these mids. Getting what they want, extra flesh heaps for the Pudge. And of course, Azure Ray probably okay with that exchange. I mean, the downside is you lose your Naga again.
Yeah, they can't be happy, right? Because Xtreme were farming on their 2 other cores.
It's just barely working out for them. And Jin Q getting a lot. Starting to come alive in these fights. Darkseer helping him power through, and now level 7. That's just easy pickings here. As another 4-man move from XG. They came to play today. They're picking up the tempo, picking up the pace. 3rd tier 1 dead by 13 minutes here. Map is wide open for them, and the Grease is already done for the Darkseer. So you're looking at these HP levels. Like we saw in that top fight, you have to commit 3 or 4 ults here to bring down that first target.
Yeah.
And then you have much left in the tank. Eternal Shroud definitely going to help entry into the fight here for the Pudge. Very strong item this game. But the big question is, can Low recover and have... I mean, not even the recovery. How does he have impact in this game into the overwhelming magic damage? Every time he showed up to a fight, he has just gotten melted. And you probably need Eternal Shroud on the Naga this game. Something to that degree. Even a late BKB, I don't know. Something that makes sure you can actually do anything.
What do you think about more of like an assassin, like Shadowblade, Bloodthorn type builds, where you just try and catch heroes around the map when you're split pushing? Because I'm not sure if there's an item build that allows him to do anything against this much magic damage. Grabs the invis after the hook, but they've got the sentry down. He can still get a charge, though. Wait, okay, now he's going to go for the actual charge. He could have maybe gotten away. I guess the glimpse was going to be there no matter what.
But yeah, we are seeing these damage problems. Like, that's a support primal. It takes you 3 heroes and a lot of time. I think you don't have glimpse there. Xingqiu probably lives, so...
Yeah.
Really showing some of the issues in the fights right now. This is as though it is before the axe gets involved, so you're kind of down 2 cores right now if you're Azure Ray. Normally I'd say that kind of Naga build can pay off, but this game, like, who are you assassinating in this game? The Greaves Darkseer, I think, is off the table. The Zeus pretty hard to find. And this new Tiny with the craggy exterior, like, I don't know if these Agi carries can just man up on him solo. Tough game for Low. Just got to keep building these flesh heaps. Piling on the meat.
Yeah, if there's any way that Azure Ray wins this later on, it's through this Pudge becoming a second core to help out the Naga. Pipe is going to be the next choice for XXS, so a build that is not really using his passive ability anymore. His intelligence gain is outdoing his strength gain now, so...
I'm sure he'll pick up the heart later. Don't worry. Yeah, that ring. Is it really for Pipe? Might see another smoke up here. Azure Ray maybe expecting the move to go into them. They do have the Blink Axe online. They keep calling him Faith Beyond, but Bach wants to get involved. Another rune bait. Or is it a bait? Who's getting baited here? Just giving up here by Azure. I mean, that was a hook possibility. There's vision for both teams on this rune. But very passive from Azure Ray. This is their axe blink timing. You know, the whole time you're not getting anything done, you're trading farm between a Naga and a Tiny. Hard to know which one you really rather have, but I'm probably going with the Tiny here.
Yeah, just considering the fact that the other cores alongside the Tiny are...
Yeah, I think Ame has an easier time in this matchup based on the support team he has.
Yeah.
There's not much to help Low in this game other than your Static Storm combo way later, which isn't something we mentioned, but you can get to a point where you just sleep into Ag Static Storm, and that is... There's no save here for XG.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You could pull someone to an egg, but that is a double-edged sword as we saw yesterday, so... That is always something Azure Ray can play for in the late game that the Naga gives them, despite maybe not having a clear one-on-one capability. And this will be that smoke to try and get the axe activated, but...
Still doesn't work.
Yeah, can't find it.
This is a solid couple of minutes here where Bach just has not been able to use his Blink Blade Mail timing.
Some of it's just the XG lineup pushing these waves pretty damn fast. Like, they can shell waves, the Tiny shows up, clears a wave, instantly disappears, Zeus spamming waves out. There's a lot of wave shove that happens very quickly, can make it hard for Azure Ray to find heroes on the map. The heroes you do find are going to be really tanky, so you need to commit 3 or 4 heroes on that move, which means when you commit to 3 or 4 heroes on a smoke like that, your lanes get shoved that much faster. And Low can only do so much right now when his illusions are still pretty weak. Both these teams are just going to try and build up as much magic resistance as you can get. There's an overwhelming amount on both these lineups. It will be likely that Eternal Shroud for Bach.
What a timing from Xingqiu there. Very awkward. Bach tries to jump in at the same time as Xingqiu charges through. Well, 4,000 grows to 6,000 pretty quickly. Again, kind of goes back to what we're saying. If you're out farming a Naga lineup, that's got to be a bit concerning for Azure Ray. Not that they maybe know that per se. Working towards the Orchid though. Tier 2 neutral items also up, so maybe there's another peak here that they could do something. Or maybe they just wait till Pudge has Axe.
I mean, it's another factor for Azure Ray. You have Axe and Pudge, both heroes that scale off getting kills. You're playing a slow game like this. You're just missing some of that X factor in your lineup.
Yeah,
like, you would much rather have this game be 20-20 than 7-7. Because you probably have more flesh heaps and you have more armor stacks. Or he's just working towards an Ags, but not much is happening for him in the meantime. And this does beg the question, at a certain point, are XG just going to force an objective like Roshan or a tier 2 with the auras on XXS?
Ame pushing in with a Shadow Blade, finds a pick off on the Disruptor, still hit the hook from Ori.
I mean,
but I don't think that's a unit he really wants to go for. Now he's going to be vacuumed up the cliff, and they'll have a Lightning Bolt to stop him, or a Yules.
Well,
either one will do.
This is awkward.
And Buck just watches on in dismay. He's, okay, bye, Ori. Sorry.
There's a real damage problem for Azure Ray right now. And they're feeling it. I think they aren't really sure what to do about it either.
Dire's top tower
like, Pipe Greaves already out for this Darkseer. Who's the easy target?
Nobody. I think the Greaves is pretty funny because every strength point, the one thing that it's not buffing up is your armor. But you're a natural Greaves builder, which gives you a healthy amount of armor as is. So this Darkseer is just going to be the most well-rounded hero in the game.
Man, I really want to see him go like some wacky item now, you know? Like he goes Greaves Pipe, you think it's just normal, and then just, Daedalus, gotcha.
I mean, he could still go kind of normal and just go Strength Blink, right? Blink Dagger would be your next item normally, or
he's just gonna go
Scepter. Okay.
So like a mini stat item.
Yeah. More strength, more overall stats for a universal hero.
I mean, his normal punch is still very strong. Very good versus the Naga here. Just good in general in the fights. So standard Darkseer build from XXS. Nothing insane or fancy. Wants to have a nice standard Darkseer game with the last pick. Can't blame him here. Zero's going to be good in this game almost no matter what. Just off the spells alone. And I don't really see a situation, again, where Azure Ray can really burst anybody on XG.
What surge is this?
Like, you could throw everything on this Darkseer. He's not going to die. He's still going to get his spells off.
Yeah.
The only way that changes is if you get to Disruptor Ags way later on. That changes the dynamic of the fight. But until then, you kind of have to just tank the brunt of it. Oh, they'll find a call on the Primal.
And the Naga Siren does start doing some damage.
Okay. So the Roche is being done by XG right now. Kind of inevitable, but at least Azure Ray finds something here, and they get some armor stacks for Bach. He will finally enter this game. Been looking for him for a long time.
What do you think about Ame just going full out for the Silver Edge? I thought this wasn't the best item for carries anymore because it just doesn't give you the same kind of scaling damage.
I think on Tiny, though, a lot of his scaling just comes from the levels and these passives and talents. I also think the upside of Silver Edge is your uptime on the invis capability is a lot better than it used to be, which for a hero like Tiny is super nice on the map. And plus, this item gives attack speed, and Tiny likes attack speed.
True.
So I think most of the item makes sense for the hero. It's basically, if you go Silver Edge and it gets you 2 or 3 more kills in that mid game because you're invising around a lot more, then it pays off.
Okay. Ag's done for the Pudge, though. So there's a big damage upgrade. They're going to get the call on to XXS. A perfect pick-off to start. Now you know they're missing a lot of their team fight, though. Apparently, Xtreme Gaming don't feel like it. A hook misses. DY finally getting it off the Supernova, but they're turn back and deal with it pretty quickly here. Nothing to stop them. Thunder God's Wrath gets thrown out, but Bach is not low enough to die to just that.
Not close enough to that fight because he TP'd top earlier. I'm surprised they burst the Darkseer that fast. A lot of damage out by this Axe, just off the Blade Mail.
His attack speed plays against him. Because he's getting extra attack speed, right? He's getting the attack speed from his passive, but he's also getting the attack speed from Axe's passive, which I do think this is the better one. I think Call Out is just 90% of the time just the better facet.
He dealt like 400 damage to him with Blade Mail in like 250 of that was from right clicks, so oof. Darkseer actually punched himself in the face to a decent degree.
Yeah, seriously. Again, I feel like, why are you picking Axe? It's because you're trying to get Call Blade Mail to do as much damage as possible, so just choose the facet that's going to give you that.
Show some value here and gets him to the Eternal Shroud, so that's the second one for Azure Ray. Another big power point here.
I mean, just don't give a damn.
I mean, he's got
Pretty sure he even saw Ori there. It's just whatever, man. You want to hook me? I've got 3,200 HP times 2 because of an Aegis.
Man, it's really hard to judge in these games, like where the damage levels are for some of these heroes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, you know, if Azure Ray just throw everything on this Tiny, like, he dies, but it's very hard to know how fast. Is it 3 seconds? Is it 6 seconds? And in a competitive team fight, that makes all the difference. Just so damn hard to judge in these new patches.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
He's working towards BKB.
XXS already have his Axe. Did it just die on the courier or something?
He just has the 2K over the Axe, so I think he's debating Blink first. Maybe even thinking he needs BKB in this game over the Axe. And the third Eternal Shroud up for low. So they get to all 3 here. Where's your magic damage now, you fools? You thought I was playing agility carry Naga. I was playing strength tank Naga the whole time.
The only way to win Dota. Outlast your enemy.
I mean, this is a great Eternal Shroud. You're looking at all the magic instance damage from XG. There's a lot of it.
Especially for a hero that, you know, Tiny does some good physical damage, but Naga just naturally has enough armor to be able to deal with it.
Also has extra evasion now, which is big. Evasion versus Tiny is huge.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Pull him out of position here. Xingqiu to the rescue. They also have the pipe, so damage again is a bit of a problem. Not quite the dismember that he wanted.
A little anti-synergy there. They do get half this tower bottom, though.
And his song from low.
Yeah,
Make sure he gets away.
Some decent damage here.
Very good.
Not as fast as the Tiny, but you'll take it.
And here he comes. He's actually going to go for this one with the 2 cores lined up and a vacuum on a third. Pulls him in. There's a static storm that stops a lot of the damage coming in. This Tiny still wants to fight it out. Remember, he's got that Aegis, so he doesn't mind dying as long as it's in the next 20 seconds. And he's beating this Pudge to a pulp right now. A final tree toss will finish him off. Thunder God's Wrath. A little slightly after the Pudge dies. Now the Kiss is going to be put to use. DY. He does have Supernova. Gets called, though, and a Culling Blade will put him down before the Supernova can be used.
More stacks for the Axe. But Ori not finding any of his own there. I mean, we saw the power of the triple Eternal Shroud. Like, great combo from XG, but honestly, not that much damage. All that damage came from 2 things. The Tiny swing in the tree and that Sunray, I think, was a decent amount at the second half there. It's a spell that you're going to have to think about as this game goes on because these heroes are quite high HP totals. I mean, of course, Zeus is doing a lot of damage, but it's Zeus.
Yeah, he does damage to everybody. That's kind of cheating.
I mean, Ori walked off most of this. There's just nothing to help him reset. And he's just getting beat by that tree, man. God damn. The man needs some armor. I still like Azure Ray's position in these fights for the current time being, however. Especially if they can string together one of these big pickoffs at the start of it. I just don't think XG have answers to the magic resistance right now. They're going to try and work towards them as this game progresses. Look for another pickoff. Dude, this Blade Mail is destroying him.
Yup.
What in? Has been killed. Radiant's bottom tower.
He's getting more spins. He's getting more Blade Mail damage.
That just looked way too easy.
1,300 damage from the Axe when the Naga Siren is right there. Did half the damage that Bach did.
I mean, this is Darkseer with 50% resist on both sides. Now, some of the Axe, like counter Helix dealing pure damage. Still, that is
Doing it again, this time on Q, but Q. Dispel, BKB now gets the slam onto the Snapfire, chasing him down. The song will eventually stop him here. But now Ame, it's his turn to come in. He's waiting for his opportunity, jumps in now, gets pushed back by the Disruptor, doesn't matter, still managed to get that kill. Q finally gets Culling Blade to death, but the Supernova is out. Azure Ray gotta make a break for it, but Bach is losing HP fast against the Tiny. Thunder God's Wrath goes out, not quite enough, but a backstab from XXS. Hits the vacuum, a toss over, finishes off to 2, and Ori with a desperate TP away makes it.
Lucky to escape, because that flank from XXS was a thing of beauty there, and they have absolutely no answer for this Tiny. Ame is king of the fight. The second he's in there, it's just all hell breaks loose. You got to get the hell out, because he starts swinging this tree for 500 a pop. Ain't nobody fighting that back. Man's got armor, he's got resist, he's got 4k HP. He's got status resistance on top of it. Craggy exterior on top of that. Slow resistance. What do you do to this thing?
Yeah, Tiny Carry played a game against that. It feels a little bit debilitating to play against, because you're just like, what do I do to him?
Dude, he took Vindicator's axe here, which is super good for him. He gets attack speed and he gets the stacking slow resistance. He has 54% slow resist.
Which,
what?
I mean, part of Pudge is just being out there and rotting and slowing people constantly.
You know, battle hunger, like any of these, you just can't slow this man. He's coming for you. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it?
An unstoppable force.
He is the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
He's both. Oh my god.
This just looks insane. The more we're watching this hero. And all of this is scaling, right? The more strength he gets, the more slow resist he gets, the more status resist he's getting here.
Yep. I mean, the damage that he's doing right now with these right clicks, none of his items are like that efficient of a damage item, you know? But they're all just nice strength build-up items. Put him in that hot spot, Ori. He's gonna feel that burn all game long.
So Ori is finally getting some armor to try and help him frontline here. Got that craggy coat, working towards the Shivas. That'll be a huge one. Extra attack speed slow is gonna be big here. But for now, Ame still reigning supreme, eyeing his prey. He'll take low.
Already down to half HP with Q coming in. Too much magic damage.
No song for you.
Just the perfect opening, and now a dive on a Yules. Maybe catches Ori. Ame's gonna get the toss back there into Q. Doesn't toss him that far. A cookie helps him out. A force staff gives him even further. Oh, but XXS hits another beautiful wall vacuum. Too bad it's inside of the base. So Xtreme Gaming, not the best to be able to follow that up, but they got something bigger out of that. They got Lowe's buyback.
They got Lowe's buyback and nobody else got glimpsed there.
Yeah.
So honestly, probably okay with that overall exchange. TP to the outpost from Ori. That is very aggressive.
Yeah, Azure Ray want to be able to get more out of this one. That way they can take the Roshan, a buyback from Tianming. He's got the outpost to be able to TP to, or the tier 2, so he's going to come in and try and help control this Tiny, but the Tiny just can't be controlled. We already tackled that one. Low, he has Song if he wants to help save Ori right now, who's in the middle of all these heroes, but Ame just keeps on track with the BKB, tossed him up, laying that physical damage into him. Low sitting on the side going, I can't do anything, guys. Not up into that high ground. Oh, Q maybe goes a little bit too far here. Bach gets the call and gets the kill.
That is Q for XG to take their win here and get the hell out. Double buyback from Azure Ray, a costly team fight for them, and they still do not seem any closer to solving the Ame problem.
And now you've got MKB, so one of the things you said you liked about the matchup of the Naga versus the Tiny, now, that evasion part is gone.
We've yet to see like this call blade mail connect on the Tiny. I don't know what happens. That interaction, I feel like it's going to do a lot of damage. At the same time, it might
I mean,
just not be enough into the 4,000 HP with so much armor.
Yeah, he has so much innate armor, right? It's just he's throwing physical damage back onto himself.
Gonna try.
Okay, we'll see what it does.
I mean, it's not enough, I'll tell you that much.
It's definitely not. And the status resistance means that the call doesn't last that long either.
This is an abomination.
Pulled back in by the glimpse. They're really trying to focus on Ame right now. Look, he's just standing there underneath the sun ray. I've got 5,000 HP. Another jump in from XXS that hits on 3. They're chasing after Ori at the same time. Ame really just shrugging off this disable. Somehow Low comes in close to the Supernova. Barely gets off the song.
Are you
Full retreat
around?
for Azure Ray. TP out. Run away. You cannot fight these beasts that are on Xtreme Gaming.
I mean, Ori hooks the mountain, and the mountain hooked him back. It's just not a fair fight right now. Absolutely nothing touching the unstoppable momentum here from XG. And Ame, I feel like he's gonna try and end this game with this Aegis.
Yeah.
I mean, this hero, he goes high ground. He is the high ground.
Yeah, he's looking down on your base.
A gift from the temple.
He finishes a harpoon. I can pull you in now. Says, or you're not the only one who's going to be hooking some heroes in these fights. And he is closing in on level 25 as well.
Yeah, I feel like the harpoon is just more about slot efficiency.
Yeah,
you know?
it really is. He's going high ground.
He's got a BKB sitting in his backpack because he has this Aegis. They're going to use the banner there. A pull in, but an immediate avalanche just sets up Jinkyu to follow that up, and he actually just keeps going with his BKB. Now, Ame is ignoring that. He's just going for buildings right now, but a second hook lands onto him. And the Nimbus just continues to disrupt Ori's attempts to dismember.
And they actually use this banner pretty well.
Imagine that.
Invincible catapults right here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Can't even get a glimpse. So 2 hooks hit by Ori. It doesn't matter.
Vacuum on 2. FY does manage to get, oh, not enough. A long range swing there. And look at this Sunray just continuing to heal up this Tiny. Any damage they pump in, it's outdone by the percentage-based healing, and now a Supernova on top. Sunray going the wrong direction. They're going to Song, try and focus on the egg. They've got it. And Ame's a little bit low, but he does have that Aegis. Bach, call on 2. No, hit by the Avalanche. Couldn't stop these heroes.
Nice battle hunger slow.
Somebody from retreating out here. Now the call gets on Ame as well. Ame did not want to forsake Q, but maybe he's just giving up his own life as XXS starts backing away, leaving Ame behind. XXS comes back in for the vacuum. BKB goes out from Ame. Can he disengage? Silver Edge up in a second. But a call comes in from Bach.
Oh my
Bach,
God,
he's taking a lot of damage though. The XM's here dealing out that percentage-based damage. They go for Bach. Bach in trouble, stuck between the Darkseer and the Zeus, and he'll win against neither. Another hook back onto Ame. Low, hits him with the ensnare, trying to finish up this time. They've almost got him, they've got him.
The mountain falls.
Avalanche as Azure Ray bring down the house and bring down the mountain and somehow manage to win a fight against Xtreme.
Gold for that kill. But damn, did it take a while, and it was costly here. Still, the amount of XP going into Azure Ray's pocket, it's something to hold on to in this game. The beast has been slain. Morale boost.
Yeah.
A god can bleed here. It's so hard for them to control him. The scary thing about that is the only reason Ame even ends up dying there is he chooses to go back in. He was out. He could have just ran.
Yes, he could have.
Like, they have no ability to control him. You can battle hunger him, you can rot him, it doesn't matter. He just walks it off right now. He has Surge to bail him out entirely if it comes to it. Can Azure Ray scale past this point right now? Because it feels like XG are hitting their prime with this lineup. You're getting some armor on the Axe, you're getting some flesh heaps on the Pudge. That Shiva's is completed for Ori. Huge item in this game. And hard done for Low. This Naga's starting to become a bit tankier. And you do have the Bloodthorn for some single target focus damage. But a lot of these fights are just coming down to Bach. You have to keep landing these big calls. And you have to tank that damage, man. That call on the Tiny is painful.
Yeah, you have to hit hook after hook and call after call.
Okay, Hex, that's big here, because now these calls and hexes have a lot more threat behind them. Damn, you wish you could just get a Disruptor Axe.
Yeah.
Somewhere here, but he's nowhere close. Tianming's thinking about Aeon Disc just so he can survive.
I do wonder, he's holding on to so much gold.
I mean, it's got to be.
He's got to be thinking about it. Like, you've got the combo.
Yes, that's why it's tempting here. It's almost guaranteed you can get it off.
Plus, the enemy team's pushing into your high ground. Do you need the Aeon Disc if you're sitting back at the tier 4?
Tough decision for him.
Pretty even rune exchange, surprisingly, despite the fact that Xtreme have been winning this game for the last 15 or so, but it's all because Azure Ray just got 5 bounty runes.
Satanic done for Ame to complete this kit. That'll push him up to almost 60% slow resist and almost 25% status resist innately here. Havoc Hammer on top of it, 5,000 HP. Okay. It feels like all we're missing is that wolf bite. We're back to TI-10?
Yeah. He's hitting for 748 damage.
The numbers on this just don't look right, man.
That's not normal.
Something ain't right about that.
Something ain't right about that boy. That Havoc Hammer has to do so much damage. It's doing like
1.5
500
times your
plus.
strength.
Yeah.
He's got 230 basically, so yeah. That's a solid nuke.
Yeah, it's like 300 and something damage plus 175. Over 500 damage.
XG, posturing on the map, but not confident enough to push high ground without the Aegis, and it'll be Azure Ray smoking out, trying to catch something here.
Don't run into the Tiny.
Or
run
do.
into the back
5 on 1? Is this favorable enough?
I don't think they can kill him fast enough. The team is coming
They're
in
gonna
fast.
try.
Wait, the Sunray's coming in. He's down to half HP. Wait,
gone.
he's dead. What was that big burst of damage? The Bloodthorn popped in so much. Holy. Now a Supernova, though, and a second Sunray on top of this one without the Tiny. Is this even possible? The Supernova explodes successfully.
They're all healing.
They are. They're back up to full HP. The Zeus is still able to throw some spells from the back line.
This has got to be good for Azure Ray, or
It
he's
has
full
to.
HP.
They're having to run through the wall to be able to do all this, and Xtreme Gaming are beginning to back up now, but a call back on XXS with the glimpse.
Jinq versus the world, but this is a fight that XG are getting
They're
the hell
actually
out
going
of.
to get the Snapfire off it. Oh, the hook! Ori catches the +1. He's going to try and surge away, but ensnare. Wait. Why did that only last 1 second?
Greased it off.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, that Bloodthorn pop was... He has such a high HP pool.
Dude, that was so much damage.
Dude, he did 2,000 damage on the Bloodthorn pop.
I've never seen that much damage.
Smokes, man. It just... Like a piñata here. Goodbye. Goodbye. 2,000 damage Bloodthorn pop using this tiny strength against him. And this is where I go back to the strength of Naga. This song, man. They don't even get... Look at the HP pool.
Yeah.
It's like a whole other fight you have to get through now if you're XG. Again, these heroes are so damn tanky. These percentage-based spells are just insane. And Naga is taking full advantage of it here. 6% max HP regen per second. He doesn't even have the shard. He can buff this heal up off the song by another 4%.
Yep.
These heroes like Punch and Axe, that's as good as an Aegis.
Oh, yeah.
Low. Coming alive in these late game fights, making Naga work in a game where might have thought it had no business working and looking this good. It is looking really good.
The push to the high ground from Azure Ray wasn't quite fast enough to take any of the barracks, but they did take a tier 3.
But they want the next Roche. The next Roche is the big one here. Refresher Shard, Aghanim Scepter potential. And honestly, if you're Azure Ray and you get nags off this Roche, you give it to Tianming here?
Oh, yeah.
I think you do. There's almost nothing better anyway. And this Tiny he's capping out. There's not much more in the tank for Ame to scale.
Lead off on Ori. Is that the target you want to go on first? Shin-Q popping his BKB. Ame just continues to swing. The Sunray, though, they need to start backing up.
I mean,
they're
just
use that
all
song.
healing.
Full heal. Set up the second part of the team fight, which is going on to Shin-Q with no BKB. Ori missing out on the hook. And Ame challenging him. Thunder God's Wrath. XM throwing the damage into the backline. Heroes couldn't quite finish him off. A second Thunder God's Wrath. Not good enough. Bach. He gets the initiation out of the Zeus. He's killing the Zeus. XM dying fast. A hop away is not good enough. Shin-Q tried to save him. Now he's put his own life in danger. And Ame is just not doing enough damage by himself anymore. Pulled back into the Azure Ray 5-man ball. That is somehow tankier than Xtreme Gaming.
I mean, Ori he has quietly gotten out of control in this game. This man goes up to 70% resistance across the board. There's nothing to touch this Pudge. He has Song Heal behind him, almost 5,400 HP, a set a cap for extra regen. He's sitting on Heart. He has 130 base regen almost. A second Heart picked up now for Bach. You got to remember, there's Eternal Shrouds running the whole time. They have 2 strength frontliners with 100 HP regen each. And they have this Song behind them. The tide has turned in this game. Tiny, he controlled it for the first half, but the second half has become all Azure Ray here as the damage has run out. And how do you get it back?
50 seconds until the Tiny is back up. How much can Azure Ray get done here?
They're gonna get a lot done.
I feel like they could go Throne.
There's an option.
It's scary against Zeus, of course, when he's back up. That kind of spam from behind the tier 4s would certainly add up.
Part of the problem here is where's the Darkseer impact? Because we're seeing these walls, these vac walls, but half of them are getting songed and they're disengaging. And the other issue is there's just not great illusions to create here.
Yeah, it's the Naga and that's it.
If you can't isolate low and get some punch illusion on the Naga, get a wall illusion on the Naga, and have that illusion hit him before it gets melted by a lot of the AoE, I mean, what is XXS doing in these fights? You just can't find that window. Getting a back wall on the Axe Pudge is whatever. They're going to shrug it off. Yeah, this is an Ag Scepter, and it is going to Tianming here.
So he's got an Aeon Disc and an Aghanim Scepter, and soon to be a Blink Dagger.
That is juicy right now.
Which I think helps solve one of the problems for Azure Ray. Last time they solved it by Bach getting the jump onto the Zeus. So
yeah,
that took out the Zeus like 100-0, who's a massive damage dealer. The longer the team fight goes, the more effective the Zeus is, right? He took him out. Now they could just Song straight into the Zeus, Static Storm, and there's nothing to save him.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. He found Timeless Relic. He's got 27% Spell Amp here. He's got his level 25 talent. I mean, this is as much you could do with the hero. Like, you're doing 1,000 damage off Thunder God's Wrath.
Plus 4% off your passive.
And you're getting amp off every kill. It's just 1,000 damage into 70% resist. This is the problem with Magic dealing carries in the late game right now.
Yeah, you're just doing a regular...
You can't overcome it.
300 damage nuke at that point.
Like, your Thunder God's Wrath is a 300 damage nuke. Congratulations, right?
Okay, but part of the Zeus's scaling is supposed to be this Manta. This Manta built up.
Okay, yeah, you're getting
all of his right clicks.
You're getting percent off all of it, but like, what is 4? It's 4% flat, right?
Off of him and his illusions every hit.
So 4% on this Pudge, you got 5k HP. Okay, you're getting another 100, 150 damage out of that. 200 maybe.
Against the 5,500
I'm not seeing it, man.
kilogram beast.
Yeah, I just don't see it. And the problem is that's current HP, so the more damage you do to him, the less efficient it gets. Like, how do you finish these heroes off?
Yeah.
They're getting the Eternal Shroud stacks. They're getting extra regen here. You got to do it twice through this Naga song. That was an Ags for the Naga Siren. So you're going to have BKB piercing net. This is the old school style ensnare. Really going to hurt the mobility here from Ame, who does have status resistance, but the bigger problem for him has become the damage output. He's just no longer threatening these heroes. He needs Daedalus here. Absolutely need Daedalus. You might need Divine as well.
I'm still waiting to see a ensnare reel him into a hook.
You're going to be waiting for a long time then, my friend.
Reel him in, boys. Somebody's going to get hooked eventually.
Are under attack.
Yeah, we're trying to do it off this ward, but gets a creep instead, and it'll be a D ward here for XG. Here's another hook coming up. Can glimpse him into it. All right, synergy, not where they wanted it to be, but no harm, no foul. High ground siege will begin, and it is the Pudge with the cleaver, who can't hit anything because of fire spirits.
Well, there's some damage. Jeez. If why shredding the tower.
Yeah, he took all the shredder talents, by the way, and you got to remember this hero deals physical off the shredder now just by default. Is that true? That's true, right?
Yeah, attack damage 25%.
So you also get some of these glance hits that rebound. I mean, he has Mindbreaker, he has Hurricane Pike. This Snap can continue to scale in this game. He's got Daedalus queued up next. Feels like there's a lot more pathways for Azure Ray to find the extra damage that they need in this game than it is for XG.
They're gonna find low. Ooh, wait a minute.
Ooh,
He's set for 2 minutes. There's no buyback there.
And Static Storm was just thrown out. This fight's wide open for XG.
Yeah, Azure Ray, we were talking about how good their last team fight looked, but if you get picked apart, that's no good. They're going to stop the TP from Ori. Is everyone going to die here? Okay, Tianming is going to be able to get the TP out. Don't let Ori get away, though. Xtreme, you really want both of these core kills.
He's got Aegis for 30.
It's going to take a while, but surely they'll be able to work him down.
I mean, nobody kills him outside of Ame here.
Ame, we've got something for you.
Dude, what an insane amount of potential thrown away here by Azure Ray with a single misstep by low. Like, we're seeing how strong Ori here is, but none of that matters.
He survived through the stuns.
That's a gem gone as well.
It's so wild against all the magic percentage-based damage he's dealing with between the Zeus and the Phoenix.
What a find by XG.
Yeah.
Find low bottom, missteps once, and they throw that double Nimbus down, which helps chain stun him. Especially with the double toss charges from Ame. Just can't get that song off.
Yeah. You find the real one. Any illusions that come out are just weak when they finally do. Leaves them a single target to get chain stunned by Nimbuses.
BKB on the Snapfire here, why not? Maybe helps you man up and kill an egg in the fight. He got one of those Nimbuses back. Sure Low was happy about that exchange. And Daedalus now done for Ame, so there's some of that missing damage. And when he's hitting for over 800 a pop, you crit on that bad boy.
Also, I think like an incredibly big item for them is Xingqiu finishing up the Shivas. Right? Like we were talking about, okay, you're like, they've got so much magic resistance, and you do so much magic damage. Yeah. Shivas would really help solve some of that problem. And Xingqiu's just an AC away. Or a plate mail away.
I still feel like you need Divine at some point. On the Tiny here. You just have to all in.
Dude, hey. Box got the level 25 talent. So he's got the plus 100 Berserker's Call AoE, so it's massive. And he's got a refresher. If he hits the right initiation, so much of this is about the initiation for Azure Ray, right? You hit the song into the Static Storm, you hit the right call into double call into like kisses. Like these are combos that kill the Zeus 100-0, could stop the Darkseer from getting off any spells. No Supernova potentially, all just depending on what you catch. Thunder God's Wrath will reveal the area that Azure Ray is currently smoked in. And Xtreme's like, okay.
He doesn't even
Sit in
have
our
the
base.
blade mail in on the axe. Feels like he's going to do enough jump in the call, or maybe the disable is just more important, survivability more important here.
Yeah, maybe he's going to swap out the phase boots if they
Also possible,
are
yeah.
like closer to the enemy. There's the Shivas for Xinkyu, so some big magic amp.
I mean,
much needed.
Regeneration.
The awkward problem is that Xtreme naturally defaults back to the same position they were in when they got the pick off, before they got the pick off on Naga. Right? They're sitting inside their base.
Yep. Still
Roshan's
afraid
going to spawn.
of the Static Storm combo that, you know, it got thrown out that last fight, but that threat is still there as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, the regen reduction on the Shivas, the regen reduction in general is pretty big here for XG when you're looking at 2 cores that have over 120. Not insignificant. We are 5 minutes away from 60-minute neutral items as well, which, I mean, I don't know what Giant's Ring does for this Tiny, but it's got to do something. Pirate Hat would be nice as well.
Get Giant's Ring for the Darks here, too.
Even Stygian for Ame might be pretty interesting. Again, you just want as much physical damage as you can find here. You're surviving in the fight, but you have to be able to kill this Pudge, kill this Axe when they're together.
Yeah.
Xinkyu leading the charge. Oh, if he can find the Disruptor
Smoke
here.
breaks.
Finds
Okay.
him.
They have to drop the Static Storm to stop the initiation, and it's on the Primal Beast. That's whatever. They're going to be able to get the hook on him. Immediately tries to go for the call as well. The vacuum
Didn't get the dunk.
attempted out. Couldn't quite get the dunk, and look at the heel turnaround. Now, Xinkyu is thinking about onslaughting back in and chase after them. But I think Ori, they've learned from this last time. A similar team fight happened in the same area. They went and just ran into Ori, and that fight went terrible for them. So they're going to play it slow. Azure Ray used a lot of ultimates there. Xtreme, they have everything up.
Oh, man,
and they
don't
spotted
care.
Naga. They're going to be able to get the vacuum on the two of them. FY is almost dead. The Naga Siren's down to half HP. Can they finish him up inside the Sunray? The Skull cannot go off.
Does have buyback.
The Supernova explodes, and now Box, the one in trouble underneath the Nimbus. Attempted hook to be able to pull him out of the area. Not quite good enough. A Thunder God's Wrath. That's not good enough either. Inside of this invisibility, call goes out. Bog trying to run away, but he cannot escape XM. He'll chase him down eventually.
What?
A long-range toss. Xinkyu gets thrown across the map. A giant Pudge misses a big ol' hook, and XM gets glimpsed back into position right next to the Pudge. Don't have to hit that hook. Hook
Come
will
back
be over
in.
to the other side. Is Static Storm
Got
trying
called.
to stomp out this Tiny. Tiny underneath all of this damage to the Sunray, trying to heal him up. The Blood Orchid once again. It kills him. Just too much damage being done to too tanky a target. Low uses that item to cut down the Tiny.
Second Static Storm caught Ame off guard, and the buybacks on the Dire Outpost for Azure Ray just overwhelming here, but it will be 3 out of Azure Ray. No buyback available for the Disruptor, and 2 out of XG. But those are 2 big ones, the 1 and the 2 buying here for XG. Can they afford to give up Roshan? Base is being sieged by some catapults, but Azure Ray are going to give up some of their base to secure this Roshan for sure.
They're running back into Roshan.
Not
They're going to be
enough
too
time.
late for these spoils, but they also are very slot limited here.
Everything going to Bach for now. They just want to get the hell out, I assume.
Yeah.
And
The Phoenix gets the vision. Ori tried to stop him.
they will escape with the spoils.
I mean, they do have to pay attention to their base. So remember, it's a Tiny.
But they caught the Disruptor.
Tianming, that's a great target to get, but another Static Storm is available and a Song immediately put to use. No BKBs were used on the side of Xtreme for this kill.
Are you fighting? Are you running?
I mean, they've used a lot of abilities. You're absolutely chasing this to your Xtreme. No Song, no Static Storm. You want to be able to stop that from escaping right now. He's just barreling in. A BKB was available, but he doesn't use it. The other 3 or 4 died.
Throne is exposed, man. Those catapults did work. That was a costly rogue for Azure Ray.
At some point, this Tiny could just hit Throne. It's only going to take like 10 shots. Ori,
He has
daring
no
the front line.
buyback
Call
here.
goes out from Bach. XM was able to get back. So he's good, and Ame is too tanky underneath the Sunray for them to go for him now. Now they pull him in a little bit deeper. Another
Oh, I got
vacuum on
everybody.
the 4 with the wall. Is this going to be good enough with slams coming in from Pulverize after Pulverize from Jin Q? The damage of AoE, it's doing it, it's doing it. They're finishing off these cores, and they use the Aegis on the Axe. That means no low. He's not going to be able to come back into this one. Can Box time out carry this team fight? Can Ori do it? Can Ori stop Ame? They need to be able to hook. How did they get this tiny? Pull them back in with the glimpse. Now XXS trying to get away. A cookie right on top of him. A Static Storm on the 2.
It's going wrong for XG.
Though, and he was able to get the hop out. They need to keep the vision to be able to glimpse back on XM. If they see him, they can kill him. Amanta pops a hook from hell, pulls him in after the jump.
What a god.
Got the Zeus, and Low died with no buyback, but somehow Azure Ray win the fight anyway. They have killed the 1 and 2 position of Xtreme, who also do not have buyback here.
Ori, God, he is way too tanky and way too good for these late game fights. You can put all the damage into him, but Azure Ray don't care. So many calls, so many spells thrown out in a giant mosh pit of death. But they find the huge glimpses here. That glimpse on Ame, Thunderstrike stayed on him so damn long. There's no Dispel. He can't escape, and the Disruptor drags him back. And now, XG, you have to make something happen. 3v4, the Naga respawning soon.
Trying to slow him down.
But all you have is spell damage here.
Yeah, you have no physical damage anymore with your Tiny being gone.
50 seconds.
And Azure Ray have tons of physical damage.
Oh, they have the Shredder.
Sapphire is shredding people. Shredded people in the last team fight because he hit the level 25 talent. You got to be careful of FY. You cannot dare this Shredder. A vacuum stopping out the cookie. The Rack's almost dead. Q keeps it going. The Static Storm right in the middle of all of these. They're just going to fight to kill this rival beast. It's so hard. They finally got the call. Now they got the Darkseer on top of that one. Oh, back. Pull in, DY. They cannot last long enough. The Supernova goes out. Wait, they don't have the attack speed to stop it. 20 seconds for Ame.
They're
Low
going
up
Megas.
in 3.
They are not going Throne here. Low is back.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
They're playing it safe, I guess, but it's just going to be Ame.
Radiant's bottom
5 seconds for the Tiny. I mean, there's no way he can 1v5 this. Still have a glyph, but you don't have any of these other buybacks. 20 seconds for the Zeus. The Shredder is going to go to work here.
Oh, yeah, there it goes. Taking down one of the tier 4s instantly.
Ame, what can you do?
Ame looking for the opening, Silver edging forward. Glimpse back. They're just keeping him away from the throne right now. Ori's going to challenge him. Ame tries to toss him away, but it's FY hitting the Ancient right now. Glow playing it a bit back, though. He does want to commit into the Zeus. Double Nimbuses. So many spells. Lightning after lightning. It is a Thunderdome in here, but a Thunderdome that has put it to halt. A Song, a Static Storm right on top of the 2 of them. The Shredder goes to work now. Ripping through DY. Pulverize trying to stop that one as much as possible, but Ame said, Ori said, your damage is gone. And Azure Ray will push through. They'll kill every single member of Xtreme before going the Ancient. They wanted to prove a point. Our late game is superior to yours.
What a sequence here from Azure Ray.
Time to show this Pudge what's for. Hang 'em high, whether by crook or by hook. And the way to do that is with a where-to partner. Gonna bring 'em down nice and smooth, I reckon.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Why don't you have any
30
fun?
seconds to battle.
Why don't I have any fun?
Yeah. Why don't you like fun?
I don't know. It's the way God made me.
Ame, look out! Ame, what are you doing? Dead shot? Can Ori hit the hook? Okay. That's kind of cheating when you set it up with the bushwhack, but... First blood goes to Tianming. Azure Ray.
1 strength.
That's right.
It's over. It's Jover right here.
The 6-kilogram beast has begun to be born once again.
And this match, I mean, they're talking about the Ursa Murtha matchup. Murtha definitely favored versus these physical cores in the Sardar and the Ursa. Not favored versus Ori here. He is going to struggle to hit this Pudge who has 70% magic resistance, 75 in that mid game. And you're a carry that is entirely magical damage, basically.
Yeah.
Bloody creeps.
All right, that hook. Nobody saw that one. Don't worry, Ori. That was a warm-up hook.
Denied.
Rough start to the lane for Ori. One of the things I think it makes this Pudge excel right now is his laning mid is still pretty good just because of his base damage. This hero has like the highest starting base damage in the game. almost, I think. He's like 3rd, maybe 2nd. And he has a pretty good attack animation. So you can just sit here and guarantee get so much of the CS, so many denies. That's why the fact XM got a head start here is going to be nice for him. Of course, Hook, you can also just guarantee range creeps if it really comes to it. You can guarantee Hook water runes. It's pretty hard to shut Pudge down on this lane. If we're seeing a lot more of these buildups where you can just get a fast Eternal Shroud for some of these lineups that need magic damage to punch through, he's going to find a place in this meta pretty fast. Ame getting gone on top.
Maybe dead again? I mean, it's because he doesn't have another hero in his lane.
He's just going to take the death.
They're just ignoring DY.
Yeah, I mean, he'd rather have died there than do it on lane with no XP. Yeah, +2 in.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Gotta remember, you always get that steal now. But yeah, Ame suffering in this early game.
Why did they choose Silencer? Hasn't this hero known to be useless? See the fight that happened bottom lane. You got the bash. Of course he did.
Well, maybe he's not useless anymore. I think the fact he gets the insteal by default is a huge change to the hero, because you used to miss out on a lot of insteal, and that's a big deal. His curse, in theory, is like the old curse now a bit more, and you can also buff it on his ult with the Ags, I believe. So he has some more scalability, and reverberation is something that seems really broken on paper. Like the fact you re-silence people. Let's say someone BKB. If they BKB, it just re-silences them, right? So that's pretty strong. That's if it works like how I think it works.
Right, so you're saying it would pierce the BKB on the second use?
Yes, you're basically just guaranteeing that you have at least that reverberation duration on somebody, or they need double dispel. It just seems annoying to play against, honestly. And like Panel talked about, you have a lot of sources of initiation here. Duel into global, charge, Spearbreaker ulti into global, Storm Zip into global, all very good here in ways to guarantee that these initiators can take the fight into Azure Ray without that turnaround. Because there are some turnaround mechanisms on Azure Ray. You have some Enchantress heal, but more importantly, you have that Dismember, which, you know, you still have this shard, and that is incredibly powerful versus these single target initiation lineups like a Duel or a Storm Pull. You go in and duel somebody, Pudge walks up and eats the dude. You're just questioning what the hell we're doing in this game. Global can make that not happen here. So
yeah.
And like, is Ori going to have double dispel at any point in this game? Probably not.
And that is all in exchange for probably a bad laning phase. Right.
Silencer's probably still weak on the lane, yeah, but he can do okay in some situations, and maybe he's a bit stronger than he used to be with the fact you get, you know, more of the int steal early. But I still would not probably rank him very high. Double range late for XG though, doing okay now. Starting to pull it back, bunch of denies for Ame. The lane's pretty even across the board.
Charge coming in from behind, Tianming. XM doesn't have that much mana to be able to work with, and he burns him even more. You're gonna need a bash if you want this kill. Gonna get it before the heal comes in. Okay, maybe not. They just right-click him to it. That was good enough.
Guess that's pretty worth for XM. Does get all his mana burned out by the Satyr, but gets the kill, gets some extra XP. Yeah. Good rotation from Jin Q here.
And it leaves low now, solo in a 1v2.
Ooh, this man bashes. God damn.
I find it so funny the Legion Commander is strong enough just to win any of these 1v1s now. Like, she was Ursa, Monkey Kings, it's, yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it's really one-sided now. It's like, no, you can't actually fight the Legion Commander like maybe you could have in certain scenarios before.
Also, Spearbreaker, this is one of the heroes that stood out to me because he got changed a lot. The Core Breaker got nerfed because your bash is no longer dealing extra damage on creeps. But it feels like the support Spearbreaker is way stronger, especially Herd Mentality here. The passive, just giving 50% more experience to the lowest level hero that's a lot.
Oh yeah, we were playing the Party Queue game. They were having an argument about what this means exactly. Does it require somebody to be the lowest level on the team and not tied with anybody else?
I think it just means who's ever the lowest XP. That's how I assume it works.
Yes, but by the definition of what you read, it is not that case, right? I mean, by the letter, it does not.
Whatever. Somebody is usually the lowest level, so.
Yeah, but somebody is usually, the two supports are usually tied with each other a lot of the time.
Miss, but still get the kill anyway. Nice rotation here from Azure Ray.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I also think this bull rush facet on him is potentially very strong in the later fights because we've seen breakers get to way higher move speed than they used to. Now you have 3 seconds of that move speed lingering.
Yeah. I thought that part was actually pretty good for core Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I think it's just good. That's a lot of maneuverability in the fight, a lot of ability to chase someone down after a charge and bash them.
Yep.
Even in these early game situations.
Tries to throw out a blood grenade to help out Jin-Q. Didn't even come close to landing, but Jin-Q may still get the kill anyway with his own blood grenade. Bushwhack ticking down to the blood grenade, though. The final tick will finish him off by like 1 HP.
That is close.
That was very close. Oh, got a dismember off. Won't kill him, but heals up Ori a decent amount.
I go straight back in here. Try and land some bashes. Nope. Gets the heal. Man, Ori just farming up a Storm on that mid lane. He's not farming a Storm, but...
Anyway, if somebody could test out herd mentality, please, and message me about it. I would love to know.
And Jin-Q's had a hell of an early game. He's got a lot of gold. He already has phase boots level 5 before the 7-minute mark. God damn.
Yeah.
Man, he's having a hell of a game on the roamer.
I tested out the build a little bit with this facet. If you have just, you know, like phase boots and like Kaya Sanj or something like that, your combo, right? Because you keep the extra movement speed, so you're naturally going to charge and then ult immediately afterwards. That ult is going to end up giving you like anywhere from, you know, 75 to like an extra 150 damage, which is pretty good on like a burst-oriented hero. And you know, that's not even saying you get like a right-click bash in there during that window as well. Charge through these heroes. XXS will be saved, and he still has his Q2. So he still has that barrier to use if he really needed it.
And nice counterplay from Jin-Q. Will dodge that gank from Ori. Still very farmed in this game. I just don't know how he has so much gold, but got it somewhere.
Hook and neutrals, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. Some extra gold off there. They're going to try and play for the beast.
It's a haste room.
Now bring him down.
And he can put use to it if he wants to try to go for support, but Ori's going to be a little bit too much of a nuisance, too tanky to kill quickly.
It's a 4-man rotation. XG, they got the insta-steal as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under
Brain
attack.
drain.
Ooh, got a courier from low as well. That is cornucopia on it, so delaying a lot of the region for the Ursa.
Tower is under attack.
A lot of courier deaths in this game. Who's also just free farming bottom. Azure Ray have set themselves up pretty well in this laning phase. All 3 cores getting pretty much what they want here.
Smart read. Smart read from Bach. That was a hasted Storm Spear that was going to run him down if he didn't TP out.
Yeah, XM may be the one struggling a bit here. Doesn't really have openings on this Pudge. Would like to maybe start ganking some of the side lanes, but maneuverability from Azure Ray has been on point here, not giving that Storm a lot of openings. It's just been Jin-Q having the good early game. He's going to have to transition with it. Help create openings for the team. Little stack farming. Camp stacked. Why put
ambition? If this will be big. If XM can get this kill, that'll right a lot of wrongs for him. Slowing down the Slaughter just a little bit more. A dead shot from long range lands, and that's enough. They get also another 2 intelligence. A little bit more pain going on.
Really does add up. More involvement for Jin-Q, bringing XM into the game. Huge win for him to get that last hit, and of course some assist gold for Ame. Not too bad.
Ooh, not quite. Go for the Enchanter, see if they can burst him down. Tianming, the healing is going to work now, and XM has to use the rest of his mana to jump out. Wait, no, the Bushwhack grabbed him, but a Global Silence will help protect XM, and he actually jumps back in for it, seeing that Ame came in with the big damage from his ultimate. Trying to chase him down still with a Slardar, but they're already back up to the high ground, out of the river, and therefore out of the Slardar's grasp.
Ori goes in this fight. He gets Arcane Curse. He casts Spell. He gets Silence, cancels Dismember. He then gets Global Silence for another 3 seconds. He then gets Reverberation Silence for another 1.5. And then he gets silenced by the Glaive of Wisdom 4th hit at the end. And now we're in another fight by the time I've explained all those silences.
How do they not kill XM underneath this tower? Xtreme Gaming bring all their heroes to bear here in the mid lane. Good hook little save just to make sure Low does get out. Low getting very active early on this Ursa.
Maybe not to his benefit, though. Can't really find the openings. Not an easy hero to do it with. So dual damage scaling up, intelligence steal scaling up, strength scaling up for the Pudge. Warta can get scaling spell amp in this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Galvanize stacks for the Storm. Am I missing anything? It's a lot of scaling potential in this. 5 infinite scaling heroes. It's the future. Enchantress getting neutral items. Oh my god.
God, that one sucks.
Actually, I don't even think this is that bad. It's just one of those where it's not exciting. Like, that's why I think it's getting the hate it's getting, you know? Like, oh, you get an extra neutral item. Like, this can be very good in certain situations. You know, it's one of those things where you get early tier 1s that can accelerate you faster. These little things pay off a lot in Dota. It's just they're not very noticeable and they're not very exciting. That's the downside.
In what do you mean accelerate you faster? When a neutral token drops, one additional token drops, he's already getting one.
Yeah, he gets one first carry. All of a sudden that carry gets...
So he sends it back to base, then it has to come out on the courier.
Might save a minute. You might have that neutral item a minute faster than you would have otherwise. That could change the whole game. The whole game.
The whole game. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know neutral items were that impactful. Today I learned.
You're welcome.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That second neutral item gets you a shovel. The shovel gets you a bounty rune. Next thing you know, it's a 500 gold difference. Results in a faster battle fury that results in a 5,000 gold difference. Ame, dead shot, tries to bounce it off to Tianming to hit Bach, but not the case.
Radiant structures.
And now that his ultimate is down, they're going to come back and chase him away. You can't come back to this tower. You can't defend it, Ame. You're just going to have to give up the trade here.
Very even game across the board.
Dire structures are fortified.
We saw what Low can do with this Ursa yesterday. So actually you're going to have to be prepared for the late game bear here. This game's probably going to go the distance. Not a lot of early tower push on either side. So you're probably looking at Roshan contest here and trying to maybe take some tier 1s down with big moves. Open up the map. But outside of that, not a huge amount of early pushing potential in either of these lineups. It's all about that Aegis. Trying to get it on the Ursa, and if you're XG trying to deny it, put it on your Storm. Also, how much these supports can scale. I think you're looking at 2 supports who might be some of the hardest scaling in Dota between Spirit Breaker and Hoodwink. Both these heroes can just become beasts, of course, late game.
I wonder if this is part of Azure Ray. It's just the fact that FY is playing another 4 position that does a lot of scaling right-click damage. I wonder if there's anything to that.
I mean, FY likes to get his farm. No denying that.
True. He's going to go Yules. So trying to counter the jump in from the Legion Commander. Also very good against Spirit Breaker. It's a very good Yules game.
Dispel for Silencer.
Yeah. There's a, man. It's a great Yules game. Everyone get a Yules.
Very good Wind Waker game in the Ultra lane as well.
Yeah.
Give you an item-based save versus the Legion duel, which your Dismember might not be reliable against all the silences this game. Blink almost done for Bach here. Nope. Maybe make a smoke play with that. You can just lead the Blink, stun into the hook. Almost guarantee a big core catch. Have to wait for the tick gold though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gonna make his donkey do the work. Blink arriving for Legion at the exact same time.
Blink for Blink. Who's going to get the successful smoke rotation off of this Blink Dagger? Or maybe they just find the free DY Silencer who was trying to get some very aggressive wards down and get spotted in the process, which probably means the ward is probably going to get dewarded. Really going for this Ursa. Got him on the duel. Big win.
Oh, it's just beautifully set up. Almost made you wonder what the hell he's doing ulting him there. That was just almost frame perfect. Now they have the catapult mid. They're going to bring Ame in. Here's that type of move that can lead to these tier 1s being opened up. So it'd be a big tower to lose for Azure Ray. Maybe we'll defend it here. Eternal Shroud already up for Ori. Tough target to go on unless you're able to commit the duel on him. Still have that global silence ready to back you up.
Waiting for 16-minute power rune, I guess, before they make a decision here on what they want to do mid. It's a regen, but denied by Tianming, who had
What a heads up
big man ready to go for it.
That was a very value rune for XM.
Yeah.
You'll miss out on. So XG not going to force this mid play. They're just going to play the map. Continue farming up. They're getting a lot of extra farm on the Spirit Breaker. Xingqiu just clearing through the camps. Maybe not as fast as it used to be, but he's still doing pretty damn well. He's just rushing Shadowblade. It's going to be a menace, man. Not a lot of control for him unless you can land, you know, one of these clutch spells on him in the middle of the fight, like an Edge Dispel, Dismember maybe.
Slardar Ursa lineup. We saw this yesterday, right?
Yep.
Very early Roche taking lineup.
Yeah, very little XG can do to stop this unless they just were absolutely prepared and made the 5-man smoke or something. Very hard to read when this is happening, so first Aegis goes to low. Something he needs in this game. To me, this first Aegis isn't too important. It's more about the second and third here. But the earlier you get this, if you can get some gold advantage out of it, it'll set you up better for that second or third. Could have a big effect down the line. I'm still impressed by how much farm Ame's been able to find in this period. Especially he started this game 0-2. Just got a pretty decent Maelstrom and's been clearing through the camps. Decent position to join any of these fights or follow up on initiations that XG find. Shadowblade done for Xingqiu also opened that up more. They're kind of ready to rumble here. I don't know if you want to just jam it into the Ori Pudge, but I think anybody else on the map is going to be pretty juicy to just go on.
Amp damage. Ooh. Once again, I feel like it's pretty important to have supports that scale in this specific team matchup. Okay, they had a ward there on the high ground, had to use the global silence to protect XM.
That's a big win for Azure Ray. Like, that was Ori just poking there. Instead, he got the global out, which hurts the rest of this fight for XG as they can't commit.
Yep, they just gotta bail on their Spirit Breaker. He gives up his life. Also a lot of gold for that kill, 700 gold.
Yeah, he's so rich, man.
Immediate smoke up with no global silence and an amp damage still on Ori.
Yeah, you don't want to duel this guy. I'm telling you, man.
DY gonna break. Bach immediately jumps into the trees and finds DY. They'll kill him first, but Ame was in great position to use his ultimate. And he just shredded both of those cores. Ori's still trying to deal with the Legion Commander. They finally managed to finish off that Aegis. Oh, I got the grab! Ori might miss the early hooks, but he gets the clutch ones every time.
This man hits them when they count. And I go back to that decision from XXS to duel Ori that he sees sitting there with frost armor on top of him.
He actually dueled him?
Yes. I think he took more damage in the duel and just gets dismembered afterwards. Like, I just don't think that's the target you want to go on here. Not even close. It just does not set XG up for success in this fight, and they end up paying a big price with Ame getting hooked back in. This Pudge has caused them problems in this series.
I thought Ori taught them that in the last game.
You can't go on the Pudge, and you can't ignore the Pudge. Well, you should have banned the Pudge.
That's true.
What else do you have left? Blade Mail up as well. This is a very hard target for XG to go on. Maybe if you have Global there, it's a different story. Like, you can duel this Pudge with Global up, and then you can commit everybody else in. That's a different type of fight setup, but just casually dueling him like that when Ori knows you don't have the backup. Fatal advance.
Blade Mail is going to be super interesting against the Muerta especially, where he could just waddle in. Ame wants to pop his ultimate, and he's like, okay, pop Blade Mail. Even if you don't want to hit me, your gunslinger chance could end up shooting me anyway.
Yeah, this matchup's not that fun for Muerta. Ame is really looking to connect on the other two cores here. Another reason you don't really want to end up dueling this Pudge if you don't have to. You can find the Ursa or the Slardar, and then Ame can just walk in and slay them super fast. It's ideal. They'll get a nice little shard for FY. Game's still very even here, and of course, it's a battle between... Okay.
Caught him after the Tormentor. So they saw the Tormentor, you know, it died, okay.
Yeah, no ult.
They're going to be low. Yeah. So it's a free kill. And that free kill means that mid is also free.
That's a huge positional pickup for XG. Playing the map really well, setting themselves up to take advantage of that opportunity with just 2 heroes. Big win. Extra dual damage on top of it. Shut down the Ursa, who is clearing through these stacks and these ancient camps. Buy themselves a lot of time on the map. Again, you're waging this war between the position 4s here, between the FY Hoodwink and the Jin Q Spearbreaker. Who's going to find more in these periods? It's really going to make a difference down the stretch for their teams in these big fights. Level 12 for the Breaker, working towards the Asha. I mean, both these players love the scale, and these heroes love the scale.
Too many dibs on that.
Ori just throwing out a warning shot, zoning hook.
Man, he has so many galvanized stacks already.
Yeah, he has not died in a while.
The fact that it gives him permanent mana regen as well. Like, he's got 19 charges. That's 1.9 permanent mana regen. So even if he was just to die over and over again, that still sticks with him.
Zip to the Tormentor. Put those stacks to use and get a shard for Jin Q. Look at that. Charge of Darkness. Bonus speed.
Even better again with Bull Rush. So that extra movement speed sticking around. So when he hits a charge, he's got a couple seconds to do some damage with his ult or any bashes he might get.
You know, honestly, I read that shard and I thought it was bugged. Because it's so simple.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm used to hovering over something in Dota now, and it's like a wall of text.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a week to read this ability and fast change. I'll get back to you. That is just 100 move speed. Okay, thank you, Valve. Like, I feel like it's missing, you know, it's missing 2 lines of text here at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, but only on the 12th moon of the 6th week. It gives you an extra 15%, and if you're slowed, it'll reverse your target prioritization and your model size by 20%. No, just 100 flat. Look at that. Nice, simple little shard.
Now the B patch, they are going to put something in there.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to be put some bullshit that doesn't actually do anything, just annoys you with text.
I wouldn't put it past. It's definitely going utility this game, so he's actually not going to play greedy. He's just going to buy the dispels for the team to deal with the global. Azure Ray trying to bait out a jump here. They are ready for this, but global silence.
Oh, that jump has been baited out for
tanky,
sure.
Dude. What?
He is not dying easy because he has an Eternal Shroud plus heal going on.
That is a tough beat here for XXS, man. These duels are not working out.
Dire's middle tower
Just buy 5 Eternal Shrouds.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I'm getting out of Dota right now.
I mean, they already got 2.
Yeah.
They got 2 Yules as well.
Eternal Shrouds and Wind Wakers all around.
I mean, nothing about the items really changed. Oh, they were baiting him.
Jin Q gets grabbed by the bushwhack. Long zip in from XM. Doesn't find its mark on the Hoodwink. Goes for the Sardar instead. Hooked back, but no. Ame, whenever Ame shows up to these fights, heroes do disappear. Charge through once again. Hits
Nice.
FY. Jin Q, yeah, get him on the dead shot too. Really well done. It's a world of difference. Xtreme, no damage when Ame isn't there. But when Ame's there, everything dies from Azure Ray.
3,000 from this Muerta showing up in the right place at the right time and getting the job done. And we saw him melt that Slardar, man. If your name is not Ori in this game, you have got to look out for Ame, where he comes into that fight and who he's focusing. This lineup's built around this Muerta. Or galvanized stacks for XM. Continuing to have a very strong game here and scale up. Lincoln's all ready to protect him.
Gold for me.
He's thinking about Meteor Hammer. Okay, so this is not just a meme. This is actually a intelligent spell amp build-up item.
Yeah,
Feel is valuable enough on these damage-dealing cores.
If it's giving you 75% mana regen amp combined with Galvanize, that
it feels good.
Seems broken.
Though I will make this argument is you're buying Meteor Hammer for everything except the hammer. Isn't that like kind of bad design?
I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's very well designed, Avery.
Right.
Wait, what time is it in Seattle right now? Oh, no, we're good. Yeah, that's terrible design. That's really bad.
Yeah, I see what's going on. No, seriously, you don't see some irony.
No, I totally.
And the only patches people buy Meteor Hammers for the stats and the regen.
No, that is.
And the actual hammer ability has been made worse and worse.
I agree. An active.
You know, it's like you go and buy a
should be
hammer.
About the active component.
You go buy a hammer, you take the head of the hammer off, throw it in the trash, and beat someone with the stick. Like, what are we doing?
No, you use the handle to start a fire. It's like something else entirely different.
Well, we'll see if he gets the hammer off in this fight. And he gets
got him on the hook, but no. Couldn't
illusion.
hit the dismember fast enough, and also.
I mean, Ori didn't want to dismember him there. He saw the hammer. He's like, I don't want none of that.
Spearbreaker charging in, charging back out. XM trying to follow it up, going for the Slardar once again. Got the duel on him as well. Slardar is #1 on the priority list. Now they're gonna go, ooh, another nice hook for Ori. Got XM. This man just don't quit. You'll Scepter on the Spearbreaker, but the damage is already done. Ori is limping back to the tier 1 tower, turns around, gets a dismember off. He's healing now.
Healing up.
He's back up to over half HP. Shinkyu, he gets a break off and charges away before he is caught by the rest of Azure Ray. Again, the start of the fight looks good with Muerta is strong and the ultimate is popped, but this time, once it fades, Azure Ray is able to play the longer fight to success.
I don't even know how Azure Ray turned this fight around. This just looks awful. You're all globaled under here, dueled on the Slardar, the target you want. Ame has perfect position. You're all in the calling. Low has to pop BKB ult early and run, but somehow Ori finds the biggest target he can on that hook and nails XM into the dirt and then still gets the turnaround at the end. And we're seeing this dismember talent. It counts for a lot when you're gaining strength off that. It's a lot of extra heal going in at the end.
Oh, nice heals right before it's connected. He's still going to die, though. No way to get away from the Storm Spirit here.
Low on the high ground. I mean, they see him.
Or he's going to join him. Hits the hook on a DY. They are outnumbered right now and outgunned perhaps by the Muerta. Ame, he tried to go for the crush on him to stop the damage, but Ame had already popped the ultimate, does nothing besides a brief stun that is easily ignored, lays the damage into Azure Ray again. And now the cores are dead, so it doesn't matter if Ame's ult is gone.
Yeah, and Ori ain't salvaging this fight. That Ursa got popped. Just no BKB ult there for Low. Not respecting the damage output from Ame, or maybe just the ward on the high ground. From DY.
Meteor Hammer.
Got him. Full Silver Edge for Jinkyu, by the way. Going to Linken's of his own, so it's going to be a lot of Linken Spears to deal with here for Azure Ray. Not a lot of spells to deal with them. And Ame, he has hit the point where he's just going to start scaling out of control. You're going to be able to pick up this shard later. Daedalus next on the menu. The damage output's just going to skyrocket here. And I don't think he's fallen off at the same rate that Tiny did last game. Azure Ray need to start thinking about some answers to this Muerta. And I feel like this game is going to have to come down to Ori. Like, you have to play around this Pudge. He's their strongest entry into the fight. He's their strongest front line. Maybe their biggest source of damage if Low can't connect. How much can a Pudge do? About to find out. Dude, look how fast he's off that, man. That is busted, I'm telling you. There's no way that is balanced.
Yeah, the fact that you could charge in and easily get out, before it was like Spirit Breaker was committed once you were in like that. Now he can actually just run away if he wants to, or he could do his full combo and do a ton more damage. I mean, you're probably looking at, like, once you... I tried it with, like, 2 items. So that extra 100 damage I was talking about, that wasn't with, like, full-out Silver Edge. That was just, like, Phase Boots Bulldoze.
I mean, Kaya Yasha here, plus an Octarine, plus an Ags later or something. God damn. good luck.
I think one part, though, one aspect of this that you do have to remember, it only lasts for that long if you charge for 5 full seconds, which the faster you get, obviously the less your charge time actually is, because you get there quick.
I feel like even if it lasts for 1 second, that is still a lot of value in a team fight. Especially because that hero has uncapped move speed during his spells.
Yeah.
You're like guaranteed to have huge values on it. See a tier 2 solo drop the Ame here. Azure Ray don't want to have anything to do with that contest, and it will be that Octarine shard buildup for the Ursa. So Low trying to get to that late game, constant enrage powerhouse. But the silences are really going to mess with him on this hero. Ursa does not like dealing with silences well, and I wonder how much this reverberation is going to really mess with him. You go in a fight, you get global, you BKB, you get re-silenced. Maybe you don't get your ult off. Very annoying spell for him to deal with.
Bach is not having the same kind of game this time around. This Slardar is having a much rougher go of it.
Very tough core matchups for him to deal with. Just not seeing a lot of heroes, and you have a mobile Storm with Lincolns, a Morta where the matchup's just completely terrible. Can't even hit her. And his Legion's just dueling you around the map. Erasma now up for XM. He has got 30 galvanized stacks. Extra 9.4 mana regen. You're looking at his mana regen tick on the map. He's got almost 50 right now. That's insane.
Pops his ultimate. Careful the blade mail. Oh god, Ame almost killed himself on that one, but he pops the BKB and now he's fine to deliver the sweet ghost justice onto the Pudge. FY gonna get run down now. The charge on through to catch the other support as well. Gets the break on him. These fights...
Under attack.
Well, Azure Ray was doing fine in 15 minutes, and then Ame started joining the fights, and they just seem impossible now. This Muerta, it's too strong, I think, against the Ursa and Slardar.
Yeah, he has really good matchups here, and he just got that shard as well, so you're looking at the stacks on him now. Yeah, extra spell amp scaling. It's a lot on this hero. It's basically just extra amp going out on everything he does. 14. Paying off for Ame getting involved early in this game. I mean, yeah, this might just be insurmountable for Azure Ray. Like, how do you crawl your way back here against so much scaling power? You have 3 heroes building up stacks. The damage is going to continue to skyrocket here for Ame. Jin Q was out of control early in this game, and he's very out of control now.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Something about this, like, I don't feel like this lineup is designed to take a lane of barracks at 33 minutes. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. When you have 4 cores and they're all mostly ahead of half the enemy team, I mean, it doesn't really matter what your heroes are. Cow Cam?
He comes. The beast comes. Got the hook on Ori, no follow-up, no bushwhacking time. They go for a duel on the Pudge because Ame can do the damage. They saw it last fight and they'll see it again. Ori is not the same kind of tanky boy he was last time around. They punish XM. They keep on getting these attempted punishes on XM. They hit the hook, they hit a stun, but they do not have the follow-up to either kill him fast enough or keep him disabled.
Now he has a full Shivas, so that just got that much harder. Shivas AC both online for XG. Every kill that goes down is spell amp into Ame and stolen int for DY. Painful deaths here for Azure Ray in a painful game too. The duels don't stop coming.
More and more intelligence, more and more mana regen, more and more spell amp, more dual damage. It's just scaling up incredibly for Xtreme Gaming, and it's better just to call it now because you're not getting any better against this lineup, it seems.
That Slardar ended that game with a 400 mana pool because DY had 44 stolen int. I believe there was
Game 3 of the new patch. It's Xtreme Gaming versus Azure Ray this time around, and I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the new patch. It's been a lot of fun to watch. We had some one-sided games early on, but now it feels like people are figuring things out a bit more, and the games are a little bit more even, and we're also seeing, you know, more and more heroes. We've got the Oracle, we've got the Venge. Neither one of those heroes I've seen yet so far. Though I was watching a couple of pro pubs, and I did see that people are definitely experimenting with the Venge core melee version. Saw a number of Echo Sabers. I saw a Battle Fury or two. Don't think that's really a thing, but I thought the Echo Saber was a nice idea.
You know, Austin, I had a dream last night.
Oh, no.
No, not that one. In my dream, I gazed far into the past. Years and years ago.
The battle begins.
Time when Dota was a mere custom game in another company's IP. To a time when heroes could throw themselves on the opponent.
Talking about the Venge?
A time when attack animations were unique, full of life. And I, for one, am glad to welcome those back. My dream has become reality, Austin.
That's right. Venge now throws a mini version of herself at the enemy, just like the olden days. You could barely see it, but it's there. I do wonder if that changes with the cosmetics.
Glorious!
What's wrong with you?
Glorious is the soul strike. Look at it! Look at it go.
That's right.
Oh.
It also increases the BAT of the hero.
Nobody cares about that. Look at the animation. It hits him. Oh! Oh!
I mean, adding the combination of this now having this melee option to it, and the fact that it's a universal hero, does give the hero some very interesting possibilities.
Man, the nostalgia's hitting hard for me.
Did you even play Dota 1?
12 years old in my mom's basement. Loading up Dota. Take me back many years, my friend. Many good times were had, now we're back. Back to the future, some might say.
I'm most interested to see the Oracle. First of all, our Observer's going to get that message. Got the sun out, saves Xinq's life. Anyway, the message comes out for the 6-minute power runes. Are we going to see that message? And also, what kind of mind games are you going to? Because obviously, if you're Xtreme, you know Azure Ray knows where the rune's going to be. Does Azure Ray try and fake them out ever when it comes to the power rune control? Are we going to see that hook guarantee the power rune every single time? What's going to happen?
I mean, in theory, you just go to the rune and just take it.
Okay, that was interesting. Just used foul play to dispel off the leech seed.
Very interesting. I don't know if that's
apparently it
mana
dispels?
efficient, but yeah, it gives you dispel.
Huh. Well, that's cool.
I also find it interesting that this Weaver went to last pick here, because everybody's talking about this Weaver. Broken, busted, it's first pick. You can't give it away. He has free Geminate on lane now. His Sakuchi's faster, it slows you. Hero's out of control. But he got it last. So somebody's wrong.
Wait, everybody's been saying this?
Everybody.
I think
Everybody
we
I'm
just
talking
said it
to.
this morning. That's the
Everybody
only
I've been
time heard
talking
it.
to is I got thousands of Steam messages telling me this hero's out of control. So what can Ame do with the most powerful carry in the game?
Low
is
blocked
getting
in.
beat up, man.
Xinq body blocking a little bit more. Hits another round of the Enchant Totem. Not enough to kill him, but has to use his regen.
Man, tough lane for him. So much stun power.
And the pressure's adding up that XXS is getting a lot of early CS, which is typically the hard part for this heroes, is, you know, getting decent amount of CS on the first 2 levels. But now, as you get to level 3, 4, 5, this hero starts becoming more and more of a menace. Is hitting incredibly hard, and will secure first blood on top of all the CS he's getting.
Lane synergy is pretty nice here. Throw out that wave of terror, reduce the armor, come in with a totem hit. And I think Earthshaker might see his hero more just because his scaling seems kind of insane now. Like, your Aftershock is increasing as you level up. You're getting even more radius. And then you have this new level 25 talent for 50%. Ult cooldown? That sounds insane to me. Maybe not good, but it sounds fun as hell.
Okay, but the important part of this facet is the fact that you're going to buy Shard at some point, right? So then the Fissure comes in, and then it's just in the middle of this team fight, and you get the Aftershock Radiance on the Fissure as well, right?
Yes.
Does sound annoying. I don't know if it makes the hero, like, strong.
Oh, he's strong. Look at him.
Yeah, I mean, he is a strength hero.
This draft looks real old school from XG. Like Viper, Weaver, Venge. Triple range core here with double melee support. Got some stuns, got some BKB lockdown. On the flip side, Azure Ray going back to the Pudge for a third game in a row. Is Ori just a Pudge player?
He's really good at it. He seems to land most of his important hooks, so why not?
And he's just owning this lane again. Cannot shut this hero down on lane. It's impossible.
You know, I just thought of a super dumb, annoying combo in lane. Oracle Lifestealer. Because you now have the Lifestealer thing where he can deny creeps at 75%. DY makes a rotation through. The gate comes from behind. The foul play, though. What a mother clucker. FY just saved Low's life. Now turns the damage back around on Xtreme. A rotation that should have worked, but FY with the save just in the nick of time.
I feel like we've seen XG make this move almost every game, so maybe Azure Ray just pretty ready for it here. Even Scout DY going back bottom. You got to remember these gate moves are costly on the mana for these supports, so if they don't work, ends up costing you a lot here. Though it has hit daytime, which means Tame's going to have a much stronger presence on this lane versus the melee hero and the Night Stalker. And ultimately, a lot of these cores are getting what they want out of this early game, but it is low suffering on that Terrorblade. Just not having nearly as good a time on the lane.
Bach trying to hold the creep wave outside of the tower. DY says, no. You don't get to do that. In fact, they're going to try and punish him so much so they go for the kill, or he's going to TP in, or he might hit the hook here. DY doesn't need it. DY's just going to die to the tower. Okay, never mind.
Kind of sad for Ori. Doesn't get the flesh heap.
Oracle stuck on the wrong side of the Fissure here. He's just going to get run down most likely. Another Enchant Totem's coming up. Doesn't land it. He could get the Enchant Totem swing. That's still not enough. And he heals himself, so the Wave of Terror can't get the kill either.
Okay, what happened to the rune announcement, by the way?
So I don't think we get to see it.
Do we not get to see it?
We don't get to see it.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, we're left guessing too.
But Low dies again. Didn't see that one coming. Can't see the future for his carry, apparently.
Nope. It's just for the mid lane.
Honestly, my gut feel, like, I didn't read this patch and feel like Terrorblade stood out to me. If anything, I feel like people were kind of dumping on some of his facets. The hero's kind of the same. Yeah. So maybe he can still reliably do Terrorblade things, but he doesn't stand out to me, and this lane's just becoming a feeding frenzy.
The other facet looks terrible, in my opinion. I haven't tried it. I'm not a Terrorblade player, but the every illusion costs 20% of your HP.
Yeah, that one is just
full HP. That sounds terrible.
That's a crazy facet. This one is, it's like fine, right? It's going to give you some extra Sunder capability in the fights, but it doesn't change the innate nature of the hero. So it really just comes down to how strong Terrorblade is in this patch, which who the hell knows? So far, though, offlane for XG is doing some work here. Venge at the top of the board. They're going to bring in Ori for the leash hook guarantee.
Oh, he had it. He had it. What? Oh, he doesn't have it at all. He chokes. Ori.
God, it's
you
just a
asked
disaster.
for Pudge for a third game in a row. You got to hit those setups. It was free. It was free.
I mean, Ori doesn't want the free hooks.
Apparently not.
This man hits the clutch hooks, okay? He doesn't need no freebie.
Well, I would argue that with a 3,000 net worth lead for Xtreme Gaming already, it's time to be clutch.
Yeah, he might need those freebies. You gotta remember, this is not just a Viper 2. This is an XM Viper.
That is true.
The top of the top. The cream of the crop.
And his turret defense is made even stronger now by Caustic Bath, where he can sit in it, and his corrosive skin becomes 100% stronger.
Yeah, you thought this guy was the turret god before. He is the turret god now. He's ascending.
So that includes getting the Aghanim Scepter, right? So if you dive in and then Nether Toxin on the ground.
Yeah, you're a tanky mother clucker.
Are you, so it's applying 8 times the attack speed slow? Am I getting that right?
No, I don't think it stacks like that, right? I think it's just, well,
I mean, it says 100%, and the Aghanim Scepter, Corrosive Skin applies 4x the attack speed slow to enemies that are within 500 distance.
yeah, I guess so. You're just a corrosive skin deity. Don't touch this man.
All will bow before the Plague God.
And XG with a very strong early game here. 3 lanes, 1 for them. We'll hit the 10-minute nighttime here. So can Azure Ray strike back with this Night Stalker?
XXS is sitting behind him here. Is he going to swap save DY? Is he gonna, oh, he is actually. He swap saves. Okay, never mind. He goes through Ori. Ori dodged it with the illusion that he had in his bottle. They're going to chase after him, TP away. The Fisher's going to come. Just, no, it does land in time. They actually do get the punch. FY, meanwhile, he is going to die under tower here, it looks like. Unless Block can save him by forcing the Weaver and even killing the Weaver underneath the silence. He got him, Ame. He tries to get too aggressive. His aggression ended game 2 very quickly, but here, it's a slap to the face.
And that was a move Azure Ray got absolutely nothing off of. They get gifted a carry kill there off some nice turnaround play. Probably the hero they did not expect to get out of that exchange. The one they will most welcomely take. Still 4-man push off the back of this catapult. This lineup can group up early and can group up strong. Got some sustain from Treant, stuns from the supports, some tanky boys to try and push through, and Venge is going to give you some nice auras and a save on top of that. So when XG are grouping up in this game, that is the point where if you're Azure Ray, you have to think about what you're doing on the map. If you take that 5-on-5, it could end up very bad for you. You much prefer these pickoffs with a Night Stalker, Shaman, Pudge lineup. A lot of single target focus. Just going to walk into the high ground. Doesn't trap anybody. Somehow.
Yeah, somehow misses the block entirely there. Overgrowth. And the hook does land, but Jinkyu is set up for a beautiful echo. Finishes off the Train Protector there. FY starts backing away. Ori dismembering the Earthshaker. XXS tries to save him with a swap. XM's coming in from the side, and now they can beat down the Pudge. Ori, False Promise goes out, but they have so much damage between XXS and XM.
Bottling.
There's no way, right? He's still slowed down. There's nowhere to go.
Not close. I mean, you just can't move once the Viper's on top of you. Maybe it takes a while, but he's not getting out of there. Yeah. Has no Dispel to play with. There's going to be an Ags rush from XXS as well, so even more HP is going to come out from that Venge. Damn, XG looking strong in these straight-up team fights. I mean, I still can't believe that those snakes didn't block anybody there. I don't know what the hell happened to him on that cliff. Or he's still managing to land some hooks, but the support ultimate doing a lot of work here.
This Venge is just doing way too much. It's just the effect of this offlane winning so hard for Xtreme that the Earthshaker Venge are such a menace in these little skirmishes that are going on. We just watched Ori die, back to mid lane, dead again.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, when you win the lane with Earthshaker, this hero just doesn't really have downsides. He's just a skirmish god.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Good scouting onto DY. Fisher comes out to try. Oh man, they can't even kill DY fast enough. Damage, a problem here. They do manage to get the D-ward. Trying to go for a quick escape, but the supports are going to be left behind. It looks like maybe even Bach. Yeah, he slowed down. He can't outrun the Viper. XM.
And XG.
That kill as well.
Playing so fast right now. Just all over the place with these cores that we wouldn't think of as fast mobile cores around the map outside of this Weaver. Just connecting everybody to these plays, overwhelming Azure Ray. And I feel like we saw something similar happen in that Bet Boom game 2 earlier in the tournament, where they had a similar lineup with Shaman Night Stalker, and it felt very single target focused, very kind of clunky in these skirmish periods. and you just lack damage. This Shaman is not providing you a lot of DPS right now. Sure, you have level 3 in Hex with some amp. Yeah, you can tongue somebody up, but that's about it. Night Stalker is like an okay damage hero, but his damage is up and down, very volatile, depending on these cycles. And then, of course, Low is not joining these fights because he has the worst laning phase of everybody. So, like, where's your damage going to come from? It's just Pudge at that point. Better start landing these hooks here if you're Ori.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
And
attack.
his game is nowhere near the same pace as we saw in some of those earlier ones. So, recovery going to have to come from somewhere if you're Azure Ray, and XG are going to continue to pick up the tempo and control a lot of this map and play aggressive because they know the advantage they have right now.
They keep on walking into high grounds that Azure Ray are set up on, and somehow it still goes bad for Azure Ray. Okay, False Promise this time will actually stay Bach. They get the pick off without losing somebody else, and they'll actually get the Venge too, it looks like. So they're going to throw out the sounds to make sure the Venge can't get the swap. No! Force Staff and an Overgrowth.
Oh, the Cluster Cluck.
A swap available somewhere in there. It finally pops it onto the Oracle. They try to get the Oracle with Ame right on top of them. They're going to be able to kill him. Turn back over to Ori with the Bug on top of these units. They have no armor whatsoever. Bach is trying to play with no HP. Can't really help out though, as he showed up to this fight, but it's not the same impact as a Weaver, that's for sure. Ame does way too much there in that fight for Azure Ray to contend with.
I mean, the carry impact, it's just not contestable here. Ame is doing so much more than Low is able to do in these exchanges. And so much of that is them committing to bring down this Viper, but it takes so damn long. And XM, he is just plucking away with this amp damage rune the whole time, gets 2 really good Nether Toxins off. Will eventually get hooked in here a bit, but again, the damage is done. By the time they bring him down, you have no meat shield to fall back on. Bach has been healed up once, but you've only got 1 Oracle ult to play with there.
Oh no, their Ancient stack. Ooh, that one hurts. That one hurts.
FY. Shedding a tear right now. He needed that XP. Needed it badly.
You stack neutrals, but don't get to farm them. You know where the power rune is, but you can't control the river. A lot of things that Azure Ray have going for them are not actually accessible when you lose the laning phase this hard.
And actually have a lot of ways to create gaps in the fight. They have this
swap for Ori underneath a tier 2. They are so confident. Now, Oracle's going to shrug off the magic damage that's adding up onto the Pudge a little bit here, but the Aghanim Scepter allows them to swap back into Yanming as well. Gets off the False Promise before he dies. But Ori, again, you live here, but for how long? You're still stuck in the same situation you were at the beginning. Underneath the Viper, slowed down to a crawl, with nobody to help you.
He's getting kited way too hard. You're looking at double Hurricane Pike cores between the Weaver and the Viper. The Viper stacks on you, Leech Seed, Roots coming down, a Fissure that can block you, a swap that goes through. Sure, you get the kill on XXS, but I don't think this man cares. He's just going to repop right here, and it's like no damage was done. This lineup's playing very fast. They're going to do everything they want to do with this lineup, and the problems for Ori are just going to continue to mount here as they really came up with a smart way to deal with this Pudge in the game 3. Heroes that are just always going to maintain the gap against him, and if you can't be on top of somebody with Pudge, you're not doing anything in the fight.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Low can't even farm on the enemy side of the map. Hunted down by Xtreme. Look at him, they're toying with him because they know he's got Sunder. They don't want to give him that free opportunity.
Terribly, just he has not looked good at any part of this game. Laning phase was a struggle for him. The fights are a struggle for him. Playing the map, a struggle. And his matchups versus this Weaver versus the Viper are like there is hope for Terribly in this game in terms of the matchups. They're okay, but they're not amazing. And the problem is you have to deal with the swap. You always have to deal with the swap threat. If it comes out on the Terrorblade or on the Pudge, isolates a target. Azure Ray do not deal well with that type of fight setup because all of a sudden your Oracle Shaman have to run in to try and help somebody. Your backline's just instantly exposed.
Same situation happens if you hit a hook. There's that swap back. Goes straight for Tianming. XXS isn't even bothering. He's going to try and execute the Oracle from his aggressive position, and if he dies, he's got a second life, but too much of Azure Ray is here. Underneath the tier 2, it's a step too far from XXS. And his aggression has been a bit too full, you know? It's like the aggression has paid off a lot of extra kills, but sometimes it gives a little bit of feed. Ori missing on the hook. Bach has the blade mail, so Ame's got to be careful throwing out the damage there.
Yeah, they really wanted something else off this Ascension. They will not find it.
Because now the mobile tank is on its way. The Viper, the hero that Azure Ray really cannot fight.
Now that is Lowe's job, and he's too far behind right now.
Yeah.
Now, if they can get fights like that, where actually overextend or someone gets hooked in super deep, that sort of team fight can go well for the supports, which is a big factor for Azure Ray here. They can get value out of the Shaman. But that kind of relies on XG pushing them or playing super aggressive like that, and you being ready and prepared. And you're going to get your Tormentor stolen. Oh, that is a value shard right there.
Oh, yeah.
So value.
He's level 11, so he's got that extra plus 50 from getting 10 levels.
Man, I wonder if you can just go high ground here, your XG. Like, you have a kind of aura-based lineup with this Venge. You have Sustain with the Treant, Frontline with the Viper. Deso on Ame gives you some extra building damage.
Viper, Xtreme going high ground early, 2 games in a row? Who is this team?
They just got Glyph as well. I think you commit here. I mean, your biggest fear is like the hook in very deep, but you have Swap to bail somebody out.
Yep.
If it's a target you don't like getting thrown in past this tier 1.
Azure Ray's gonna get
game plan to stop this.
It's nighttime too.
Remember, you don't have a Glyph here. Don't get another one.
Oh, the hook doesn't go far enough to hit XM. I'm not even sure if they would have wanted
that.
Yeah,
was that even the target you wanted to hit there? Pull the Viper and everybody gets hit by his corrosive skin, and then he gets swapped out anyway?
He just drops Nether Toxin on himself and he's invulnerable.
So Arax conceded here by Azure Ray at the 21-minute mark.
They do that without even doing Roshan. They have a great physical lineup for taking Rosh, too.
They didn't even do their own Tormentor.
It's not like an item's coming in anytime soon for low that's really going to change that much. Scotty is a ways away.
Azure Ray smoking. Trying to fight in this nighttime.
Yeah, but they're going to the wrong side of the map. I mean, again, Xtreme went high ground without doing Roshan, so they're going to do that Rosh eventually. You've got the scan on them, but you're going to have to go through the gate. Do you want to go through the gate against an Earthshaker?
No, there's no way.
There's no way. So maybe they set up for catching Xtreme on the way as Xtreme's going to go through
I mean, XG can just walk down top here. If I'm Xtreme Gaming, I'm just going down top lane and taking another Rax.
Yeah.
I'm forcing you to take the fight on our terms into the 5-man ball with the sustain, with the 2 lives on Ame, who went the Deso build. You always have Shaker in the back to bail out the fight. And Azure Ray know this, so they're going to fight outside the base. They get a nice little hook to start it off.
That's right, they got the vision, the Fisher, and the swap. Multiple saves coming out. Night Stalker in a bit of trouble. Ame got a bit low there, actually. Lowe's trying to deal with the bug on this Night Stalker to keep him alive. False Promise gets thrown out. XXS slowed down a bit. Low. See, Bach should probably live. He's going to be full HP. But you've used False Promise. You spoiled your hook opportunity there. Can it get any better here for Azure Ray? Pop the Darkness, try and go in, but the Viper immediately starts hitting the Night Stalker and it just looks bad. The Venge does die the first time, dies the second time too. Okay, 4 versus 5 now. Bugs get thrown out. Azure Ray resetting, dealing with the bugs, making sure they're no longer there. Bach is going to chase after these heroes.
FY,
gotta be careful getting too close to the Viper at any point in time.
Precarious fight for Azure Ray. They do find the Venge twice. Big win for them. Slow down this push on top. Buy time to find a little more farm. Ami's probably just going to go straight back into this tier 2, though.
Radiant are scanning.
Not much damage done to him or the Viper here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And of course, you still have that Echo Slam waiting
Dire's top
for a
tower
full
is
committal from Azure Ray. And that Oracle is not a guaranteed save against the Shaker, who can throw the Fissure out after an Echo, stun the Oracle in the same line as stunning everybody else.
Dire's
Can be a
top
tough hero to
tower
play
is
against,
under
position in the
attack.
fight. A lot of this continuing to come down to Ori, and if he can hit the hooks. That's what started all of that off. You hook the Treant, and then all of a sudden you can bait out some early spells from XG. And Ame really pushing.
Yeah, this is dangerous against Shadow Shaman Night Stalker to make that kind of play, but he's got the extra life. He seems very convinced that they can't go on him. Swap back on Ori. Now he's going to get out thanks to a little assistance there from FY, and they're going to try and kill the Venge twice again. First life down. Second life, Viper Strike on the punch. There's the false promise. So right as Shin Q trying to make his jump in.
Oh, he got
forward,
3.
Gets the Echo, hits a nice one too. That finishes off the Oracle. The Weaver still the heal from the false promise. The Weaver goes down underneath the tier 4s. But they can have any disables here. Tried to stop XXS. Grab on the second line. Get a little pushback there onto Ame. But he's dead right through the Fissure area. The Fissure finishes off FY while it allows Ame just enough space to get outside of the base and hitting the tier 3 again.
Cluster Cluck can only do so much here. Jinkyu back in.
He tried to line it up for a hook, but Jinkyu,
he blocked him off.
Takes the fight right to him. He gets pulled back into the base. Now he's been tongued. FY holding him in place for Low to deal the damage. Enough disabled will allow Low to kill heroes.
XXS is back instantly, but are they confident enough to continue the push here? And they're not. The high ground held by Azure Ray with some solid hook action and some pretty good finds on the Weaver deep. Does cost FY his buyback, not one he would like to commit on this hero. Very expensive though. He does have Philosopher's Stone. Give him a little bit of leeway. Still, XG happy with everything that's going on here. Economic damage continuing to scale with their cores. Finding a lot of farm on the Jinkyu Earthshaker. And continuing to put pressure on Azure Ray, forcing them to respond to their game plan instead of the other way around. And the group up continuing to be a menace here. Just not easy entries into the fight for such a single target oriented lineup in Azure Ray.
Well, if they could keep delaying the game, the Scotty's getting closer. And that would do so much, especially since you got a lot of these range heroes. I think even the Venge would be considered range because the hero's range, but the attack is melee. So that extra slow that Scotty is able to do. Problem is it's daytime. You're gonna have to, if you pop Darkness but don't actually win the fight and Xtreme just back off, then they're just gonna go high ground again with Darkness is on cooldown.
And in the time you tried to get that hook, your Rax is just gone. Now they're looking down the barrel of Omegas here. Don't have too many hook opportunities left. You might just not have a base by 30 minutes.
Back off again.
Likely wait for the next Roshan. You have so much map control. Why risk it?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. 16,000 net worth lead for Xtreme. You just wait for another Roshan. Feels like Terrorblade getting to Scotty. That's not going to be not too difficult to deal with, I would imagine. 28-minute Wisdom Rune. Ori is going to try and fish it out of Xtreme's hands here. They have the vision, so maybe it can be more than just a Wisdom Rune. Maybe it could be a pickoff. Spotted by the wave. Missed the Wisdom Rune. Didn't hit a hero.
Oh,
now their
boy.
Fissure blocked. Uh-oh. Do we have force
time
to
to
get
fight,
everybody out of
boys.
here? FY is backed into a corner here. Swap goes out, putting them together. Perfect for an Earthshaker, Tree Protector to get right in the mix there. Still though, Bach, he has his Darkness, and this is also turning into a bit of a cluster cluck the other way. All these grouped up heroes are also getting silenced, but a false promise on a Bach. There's too much damage from XM and Ame, who are just sitting on the back lines, laying the damage in. XM sitting underneath his Nether Toxin, but he gets pulled out of it by the hook from Ori. Low, Thunder, oh, can he live? No! XXS's spirit lives longer than the Terrorblade does. Ame came in to clean up the kill there as well.
The hell was that fight?
It was yeah,
what
it
a
was
bizarre
That's what it
sequence.
was.
Yeah, Andrew, like, what the hell is going on? We're just all jammed on this gate. Half half the team can't go through it. The other team's going through it. Does get a buyback out of Ori here, so definitely a team fight win for XG. And it's Ame cleaning everybody up with this Glass Cannon Weaver build. Nobody is able to get on top of him as FY just gets locked in the middle of that. He's their best answer to this Weaver with Hex Shackle, but if he's in the fray, there's no way to get that off.
It's Glass Cannon for now, but if he gets BKB Shikuchi's on in with the shard.
I mean, he's just taking advantage of this tree, giving him the armor, giving him the extra Leech Seed heal.
Yeah.
Then there's a Greaves, buffing him up even more. Paladin Sword, a little extra heal. So yeah, this Weaver has a lot more sustain than appears on paper. And now they're just going down mid, not waiting for the Roche, but you do get hooked in.
And forced out. XM. Easy reset for him. Not so easy for Ori, who has to wait on his cooldown to throw another hook. And again, you only have so many more of these left. Another
he got the Oracle.
Swap back onto the Oracle. Has to false promise himself now. That's going to be trouble while XXS gets down with the Ogre Seal Totem. They can't do enough damage to actually kill him the first time. He's able to get out with his full hero. Not even the second Spirit Axe.
Does hit nighttime, helps Bach a bit, and FY picked up that blink, he's in. They got stunned.
Oh, these stones just keep on hitting 4 different heroes. FY dies instantly.
Jin Q had him on speed dial, preemptive stun.
Forced around. Okay, the Dream Protector's dead off of Ori. Ori, with his Blade Mail active, Xtreme don't want to hit him. And it is creating the space for Low to swing for free.
The lead continues to grow a little bit off every one of these exchanges. The base, another building down. Another successful push for XG. Not ending this game, but pushing closer and closer. And man, FY has got to be frustrated with that entry. I don't know if Jin-Q saw him, but he effectively blinked into the fissure. That was that blink reveal for the Shaman that you're hoping can maybe catch a Hex onto Ame there and open up the fight.
Little foul play to separate them when they try and go on the Pudge.
Feels like XG just don't want this game to go late, man. They want to take their advantage. They want to end it now. Roche is up. Could be doing it. Feel like they don't need it. They know there's no glyph. No towers left. Oh! What is that?
That is perfect for them. No, the swap. Wait, he still got pulled in after the swap because of the hook. He got inside the base as a result, but this still wasn't enough to kill him. Maybe Bach can still chase him down or something, but Megas is here. Extreme Gaming just went for the buildings from Ame and XM, and now they'll just casually back away.
I mean, a bizarre sequence that wasn't bad for Azure Ray, except, yeah, you have no glyph and your abilities are just gone. So welcome to Megas at 32 minutes here. XG get what they came for. Don't even lose a hero in the process. Blink and you miss it.
I don't know if it's the lack of disables or the lack of damage, but it seems like every single time a unit gets swapped, this shield is just giving so much HP to units that I feel like should be dying in a normal scenario. You know, like that Earthshaker who's still inside the base, but he was given that like 650 shield.
I mean, this Shaker's tanky too, to be fair.
And then, yeah, then the Shaker is also tanky.
He just finished Octarine. He's got almost 3,000 HP. Also, level 3 ultimate up, and he's looking for that level 20 for the second point in the increase from Tectonic buildup here. So that will be a big mark for him. We'll also get level 20 off, or level 20 talent off that, which is more echo damage. So his Echo Slam is going to be, it's going to be nasty, man. He hits that level 20. Huge power spike for Jin-Q, but honestly, he is just so farmed right now. He might not even get there because this game might end right here, right now with this push from XG. They just designed to close this series out.
Extreme Gaming, moving with purpose. Not going to leave any witnesses. Azure Ray, they want to take him out. Not let him linger on Megas for too long. Swap back immediately onto Ori.
Oh, Fissure
Where is
4,
the false
5.
promise? Oh, this Fissure is just demolishing the back line. The supports can't get to Ori.
He got literally everybody there, and that is why the backline positioning from Azure Ray has not been straightforward.
Fissure. thrown out, stun after stun on the Bach, no save still. Jianming is going to have to save it for low. That's
Can't
the only option,
save
but they're just going to call GG.
anything, man. Yeah, that is a brutal way for Azure Ray to exit this tournament as their hopes of qualifying directly to Riyadh are shut down. But XG will advance.